Going from right to left, they'll kick us off. And Dalton United will be in their white strip. And still working his way down the middle. He does have Guerrero down the middle. Guerrero's got it. He takes a shot twice, and he gets it. What a goal. Hat-trick hero from last week scores for the home team. For Mendez there, it seemed like he maybe didn't know what to do with that, whether catch it or just punch it away, and he kind of did something in between. Oh, he's taken down there. Just for Dalton United, only one. And here he comes through. Wall does its job. Brick's going to try to take a follow-up now. The referee has whistled something here. Again with the ball. It's going to work in. Call for an offside, but the flag stays down. Saved by Mendez. Oh, the follow-up ballooned over. And Dalton is still arguing about, can they do something with it? Got to the Jenkins. He touches it back to the midfield. Now they're going to go down this left side, trying to find Bain Smith. Smith down the left side, loses possession skillfully by the defender. Oh, nicely done, and he's get fouled. And the referee is going to give him a little bit of a warning here. Dalton players giving his 2 cents. And we'll see. Yellow card. Been playing sort of a wing back kind of position, trying to get down to Bain Smith. He's got Jenkins in the middle. He's going to have to do some work to get to him, though. Oh, another bad challenge from Bain Smith. Now, you have to be careful because they've just had a altercation earlier. I don't think there was any real intent in that. It was just mistimed pretty badly. Referee does want to have a word with him. I think he's going to, oh, he's got the yellow card out for his second yellow. That'll be a red card, and Bain Smith is gone for the day. Standing off of them. Again, getting into that final third. He's finding some space in, and Feliciano tries to curl it back with his right foot, just missing to the right side. Posture in the final third of Atlanta United. Here's Guerrero, tries to poke it through, but unable to get it through, but he still has possession. He's going to take a shot right to the goalkeeper, Owen Barnett. Other side of the field. Here it comes, left-footed in-swinger coming in. Oh, again, intercepted by the Dalton defender. Wharton was trying to get in on that. There's Okanola coming in. Got Wharton down the middle. He tried to thread it back to Okanola, but it was intercepted by the Dalton United. Oh, and there it is. It's in. And that was Wharton. Getting it down the middle. Still with the ball is Ty Wilson trying to get down the middle. Ty Wilson still with the ball. He gets it through. Now Wharton's got it. He's on the left. He's in the box. Threads it in, and he scores. Atlanta United Academy have scored 2 goals in the space of 5 minutes here in the second half. His man, Jesus Hurtado. He come in, tries to bend it back to his, no, he's going to say, oh, tried to bend it to his teammate to the right side. There was a call for handball in the box, which would have been a penalty, but the referee looked to his AR motion for a corner kick. So no penalty, no foul. It's going to be an in-swinger, left-footed opportunity here to come in. And here comes the ball. Header coming in. Oh, off the line by Hyam. Great. That almost went in. Hyam knocked that off of the line for Atlanta United, but that could have rolled in very easily for an equalizer, but it's still 2-1 to Atlanta United. Here comes another attempt in. And, oh, a header right to the goalkeeper, Barnett. Good United defender quelled that opportunity, and here they come again. He's got a man down the right side, and he's free. Now Hyam's got there. Oh, just over the bar, just out of the reach of Barnett in the Atlanta United goal. He's going to try to come in. He's going to try to take a shot. He does. Is blocked by Atlanta United. Only as far as the midfield for Dalton United. They're coming back in. He's going to try to get that ball across field. Atlanta United in a good position. Dalton United still with the ball, though. He's going to try a long-range effort. Oh, just fingertip save by Barnett. That back in. Here's the ball in. What can he do? What can he do? Oh, he's trying to bicycle kick. Oh! That almost went in. What a goal that would have been. He had a defender at his back, popped it in the air, did a phenomenal bicycle kick, got it on target, but Barnett did just enough to keep that ball out, and it's still 2-1 to Atlanta United Academy. And there's a bit of time wasting. No, Valenciano is going to blast this ball. There's no telling where it's going to go. So, here, oh, and he's done it. He has done it. Can you believe it? Camera off a little bit. But here we go.
And welcome here to Dalton Stadium for our presentation pregame ceremony. Golden Boot winner award is going to Fernando Guerrero for his season here in the Premier League. 11 goals in the regular season for Fernando Guerrero. Great job for the Dalton United striker. He goes into the trophy case of several past Golden Boot winners like Kareem Tamimi, Anthony Sumo, and Akini James here in the UPSL Georgia Premier Division.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good company to keep. Dalton being such a hotbed of talent, always great to see these players come through.
And our coach of the season will go to, as well, Dalton United's Francisco Rodriguez, coach of the season, a fantastic season that Dalton United has received this season, coming in their first season in the UPSL Premier Division, winning the regular season title, coming in first place, making it all the way here to the finals against Atlanta United Academy.
Yeah, and I think not only picking up the regular season title, some may say that this was a pretty reasonable run from Dalton. It's kind of expected out of them. They've got a very, like we mentioned, got a hotbed of talent here in Dalton. Lots of very successful high school programs, so a huge player pool. But, you know, it takes a very strong coach in order to take all those individual players and turn them into a team here. I think we've talked about Kalanji kind of being a team of heroes. Dalton, they've got skilled players, but this is a team that really plays as a unit. So big on Kiko to bring that squad together.
Yeah, so here in the pregame, we'll talk about Dalton United. Let's talk about Dalton United's season.
I'd love to.
When we look at their schedule for this season, they had a really good season overall.
Yeah, I mean, Dalton's run definitely started as the underdogs. No one really expected them to take the title, but off of a commanding victory in Division I the previous season, we expect them to do well. But they have earned this regular season title through and through. I think a lot of our conversation this season was focused around certain teams underperforming. I think Rovers turned out to be a pretty big disappointment. We expected more out of Strongest. We expected more out of the likes of Kalanji. But don't take away from Dalton United. They have earned this victory. I think they may have gotten a little bit lucky in their matchup versus Atlanta United to take the draw, but every other week they have showed up. They have had an undefeated run all the way here. So absolutely nothing against them. Phenomenal performance from Kiko and the boys.
Especially when you look at the beginning of the season, they had to go right off the bat against Kalanji Pro Profile and LGSA, getting draws in both of those matches, and then that just overpowering win over FC Birmingham that really got their season off right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really shows you not only the strength of the division, but also the strength of Division I. I mean, this is a team that ran through Division I And realistically, they looked good this season. I don't think they'd look too out of place in something like the USL too. Like the level of teams coming into the UPSL nowadays, it's growing stronger and stronger. And not only is that phenomenal for a place like Dalton to continue to give their talent an outlet to show their stuff, but I think it helps the whole league seeing teams like this. So Dalton through and through, thoroughly earned, but I think this is going to be their biggest challenge so far tonight.
And then, of course, they had a draw for the first round of the playoffs. They played against Los Tigres Club de Strongest last week, an easy 5-3 victory for them to make them to where they are going to welcome Atlanta United tonight here for this final match.
Yeah, I don't think you can pick a better match here for Dalton United. Obviously, Atlanta United, the academy teams, the Kings of the South, so hosting the Princes of the South here up at Dalton Stadium. I mean, you want to do it in front of your home fans, with the crowd, with the pomp and circumstances. And this is a team of winners. I mean, you have multiple high school programs around here that are state champions. These are players that are used to winning. So they are ready for a night like tonight with all the lights on, with all the eyes on them to see if they can take down the biggest comers around.
Yeah, and this is going to be their biggest test of the season. Can they hold off a team like Atlanta United? Now, our colleague Andre Barmar had a chance to talk to the coach for Dalton United, Francisco, and we're going to show you a little excerpt from that interview.
How is the preparation now going into the final? Because if we look back to your previous meeting with Atlanta United in the regular season, ended in a 2-2 draw. That second goal coming in stoppage time from the Valenciano, I believe, has scored that in stoppage time, and to make it 2-2. How has that affected your preparation going into this game? Do you see it as, hey, we've matched them, goal for goal? Now we can take that extra step, or what's your thought, and how's the preparation going for this game?
So looking back at that game, I think we caught a break. They should have honestly took those 3 points. A mistake by the keeper holding it too long, and we were able to capitalize, but they should have taken the 3 points, and I made sure to get that to my players. They're a very young team. They practice a lot. A lot of my guys, I have a mix of young guys and older guys, but all these guys, they work, and some of them have families, so they can't just focus on the game. But the experience that the older guys bring helps the younger generation, and but we're very excited for this game. We've tried to prepare as much as possible, and now it's time to show it.
This season, of course, you have the Golden Boot winner, Fernando Guerrero. Tell me a little bit about his performance during the season and what he's meant to the team.
Man, Fernando has really stepped it up. He's a completely different player from when he graduated high school. He's been able to grab us, and sometimes when there's nothing going on, he'll do his magic and make some goals happen. But he's young. He's one of the younger guys we have, but our guys have really put our trust in him. And we've really worked together to make that happen. I'm so proud of him, and just looking forward to see what he has in the future for him.
What are your final thoughts as far as the preparation going into the game and what it means to the team?
These guys are very excited as well. The whole community is excited. Anytime you hear Atlanta United, we had a big crowd that game, so I'm expecting us to have a bigger crowd than that last game. But we're as prepared as we can be. We had our last practice last night, and I mean we're ready to go, ready for Saturday. Yeah, I feel like it drives more the guys. Even last season we weren't really aware of the rules, so we thought like maybe in the Division I there was nationals, but I explained to the guys that no, we had to make a jump, and then from there. So these guys have been hungry since last season.
Oh man,
won a national tournament. So we're one step away, and we have to win this game. It's
So that was Coach Francisco just having a quick chat with Andre earlier. You can watch that full interview on the ASMG YouTube channel after you get done watching this matchup here in just a few moments. Well, then that also brings us to Atlanta United Academy. Stephen, the real different change this season for Atlanta United as Coach Silva parts ways. He goes to Atlanta United 2. In comes Coach Ricky Davey from the lower divisions of their system to take charge of their Atlanta Academy U19s.
Yeah, and I mean, what your first thoughts when you're talking about how does an MLS Academy team stack up to local, amateur, semi-professional programs, you'd think it's a pretty easy job. But I think Ricky Davey's done a phenomenal job of taking these very talented players and really bringing them into the Atlanta United system. They play the same 4-3 that the main team plays. They use a lot of those same philosophies that Pineda sets for the senior team. And obviously a lot of these guys with hopes of making it up to Atlanta United 2 or, of course, the senior team, sooner rather than later. But, yeah, I think Ricky and company have done a great job of really turning this group of individuals who will be going away to very prestigious collegiate programs all around the college in just a few short months and turn them into a well-oiled, absolute offensive machine that is Atlanta United Academy this season.
Because that's one of the things, like you were saying, that Atlanta United has over a lot of different organizations in the UPSL because they come from such that large academy where you have that philosophy that goes from your young U13, U14s all the way up through to, for in their case, an MLS squad, but all the way up through your senior squad. You have that philosophy that continues all the way through, and you can really see it with Ricky Davey this season.
Yeah, and I think that for Atlanta United, this almost comes down to it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. Obviously, it is a proven system, and at Atlanta United Academy, over at the training grounds, you have so many resources available that you can you can give players so much more than potentially a team like Dalton, where, Kiko just mentioned, these are guys with families, these are guys with jobs, and you can't quite focus on that all the time. Atlanta United, they've got the time to turn the players into exactly what they want. But that being said, it is a little bit rigid. You can't quite make big changes to the system. They only are coming out here with 3 substitutes in a match that could potentially go the full 90 minutes, plus 30 minutes of stoppage extra time, plus PKs. And I still think Atlanta United are coming in here basically as the empire to Dalton. But when you look at the X factors and all those things, Dalton do have some potential advantages, but by all means, Atlanta United are the team to beat right now.
And when we look at the Atlanta United schedule this season, they started off with a great win over LGSA. They had that kind of surprising 2-2 draw with Los Tigres, Club de Strongest to start, but then they went on a tear. They were able to beat Atlanta City. They were able to beat Vinotinto. They were able to beat Legends FC.
Yeah, I mean, really the only black mark on this is the loss to Atlanta Rovers. To be fair, that was still when Atlanta Rovers knew how to play soccer. Unfortunately, they did kind of fall off the face of the earth.
And that was right about where the floor fell out for Atlanta Rovers, and they lost the 5 in a row to end the season.
Yep.
But then you saw that massive win over North Georgia United, the massive win over Kalanji Profile. And then that battle that was here just 2 weeks ago, that it was the 2-2 draw.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing with Atlanta is that they have so many options. I say that they have a pretty rigid system, the 4-3-3, and to be fair, they do, but there are so many places that these goals can come from. I mean, I think they have some of the best partnerships between fullbacks and wingers I've ever seen. We have Smith and Howard on the right side. We got Wilson and Gonzalez on the left side. Gonzalez in for Alvarez, who is starting on the bench. They're really dangerous in those wide areas. If that doesn't work, they got a lot of big guys up top. Here we got Jenkins tonight. And then Sandoval playing in that midfield is such a creative force. And they're really able to expose his teams that aren't prepared for them defensively. That is the difference between some of these 6-0, 7-0 wins and the close matchups. Close matchups come from teams who understand that you have to play around multiple offensive threats from Atlanta United. And thankfully for the home team here in Dalton United, they've already done that once. So they have an idea of what Atlanta United are going to bring. I think Atlanta United are going to be pretty safe to not get, a red card in the 50th, 40th minute this time around. So I think it's going to be even more of a contest for them. But, they've really got to play up because Atlanta United have to be seen as favorites here, even at Dalton.
Well, and our colleague Andre Bomar was also able to catch up with Coach Ricky Davey, and let's see what Coach Davey had to say as well.
What are your thoughts on facing Dalton United again in such a setting? You're going to be playing away since the home team, it's the advantage through the playoffs. How's that preparation going? Are you ready to get those guys out there and compete for that title?
Yeah, I think it's one of the rare weeks as a coach where you really don't want to train. You just want to fast forward and get to game day. Ultimately, that's why we train, is to play in the games. And I think we, reflecting upon that game and the circumstance, I was so proud of the boys for, we had the red card, I think 30 minutes in. And it was really, really incredible to even go 2-1 up. And we were disappointed with the way the game ended as a tie, but we take great heart from that. I think we're also in a better place now as a team. I think we're in a really good moment. We're really excited. We're excited to go back up there. We're excited to experience the emotion again. And yes, it was difficult, but I think we only, more often than not get better in difficult moments. So a really challenging game, a Dalton United team that, yes, I think is a surprise, but also they have some unbelievable players. Tony Saldana has played in college. Kobe Perez, an unbelievable career at Mercer University. So yes, a surprise as a team and maybe a name, but if you look at some of the players they have, it's no surprise. So we're really fortunate to play against a really good team in the final. And like I said, I think our players, us as a group, as a club, as a team, want to go there and kind of put that tie right. I think we were really disappointed with the way it finished. So yeah, it's exciting. It's an exciting game. I'm really, really excited to see just the pressure cooker that is the final and how we can perform under that pressure. I think ultimately our job as an academy is to get the players ready for those pressure moments and playing in front of crowds, playing in moments where, we're going to suffer. And I'm really excited to see that for these young men. I think they're ready for it. And it's been a pleasure working with the group. And I think we can go one more, I think.
So that will wrap up today's pregame. Here in just a minute, Dalton United FC, Atlanta United Academy, all for the playoffs and to move on to the national tournament. You're about to find out what happens next. Don't step away. We'll be right back.
Welcome to this presentation of UPSL Soccer Action, live on YouTube and presented by the Atlantic Soccer Media Group.
The hottest team in Georgia soccer take on the Princes of the South here, Dalton United versus Atlanta United Academy, right here in Dalton Stadiums with a trip to the national championships and the Georgia Premier Division Cup finals on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, this is potentially the most thrilling matchup you will see this season, and you don't want to miss it. Coming up right after this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dalton, Georgia, here at Dalton Stadium. What otherwise looks like a bit of a beautiful, quiet American suburb certainly is not that on match day. We've got a great crowd out here that are just pouring in at Dalton Stadium. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to ASMG's coverage of the UPSL Premier Division for the state of Georgia. And not only do we have a great matchup for you tonight, we have a title match for you. This is the finals of the Georgia Premier Division's playoffs. The winner will not only be taking the Playoff Cup trophy, but will also book their tickets to the round of 32 in the UPSL National Championships. My name is Steven Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be your play-by-play commentator for tonight. I am joined by Larry Weaver, and we got a little bit of a special guest appearance as Andre was able to catch up with one of our good colleagues, Jason Longshore, to get his thoughts on the match here tonight.
Contrast that you brought up Dalton United. First of all, I mean, you mentioned, and I had this discussion with Coach Davey, in that, yes, they're new to the UPSL. They've come in, they've won Division I last season. They've won the Premier Division regular season title this season, pipping United just by a single point on the final day. But, the success of Dalton United, is that a surprise or no? I mean, it seems like you understand from their history that this is not really a surprise.
No, you have such a huge local player pool to draw from there, with guys who, play in the local leagues in Dalton, guys who have won state championships at the high school level. I mean, Dalton just won their 7th this year. Southeast won last year. Northwest Whitfield was in the championship game last year. Christian Heritage won a title this year at 2A. The Dalton Academy won last year. All of those quality, Cahulla Creek, 3A, they won a state championship this year. All of them have quality players, and all of them are going to progress forward and potentially play for Dalton United. And I know there's multiple teams from the area now. So you're going to create another hotbed for UPSL soccer in the state of Georgia, in Dalton. And this success isn't a surprise, just knowing the talent level there. It's all about how you bring it together, how you pick the right players to fit the way that this team can play, and how you compete. And I think when you get into these kinds of games, these high stakes games, that's what these players are accustomed to. The expectation, whether you're at Dalton or Southeast Whitfield or Northwest or any of the other schools, is to win. So you have that dichotomy in this game of a team like Dalton, who it's about winning, and it's about winning trophies and winning medals, and Atlanta United, where it's a developmental team, and you have a team that wants to win, obviously, but is, from a much bigger picture, looking at developing talent and developing for the future. So it's a really interesting matchup in that regard. Two very talented groups of players, different ways of approaching games, and different levels of experience in these types of situations, which should make for a great final.
But so let me put you on the spot. Who's going to win, and what's going to be the score?
Well, I'm a little biased, obviously. I think having that happen earlier in the season is a good thing for the Atlanta United side. And I know the players might be a little bit different in this one as well. Yeah. But it's going to be a talking point, and it's honestly a talking point, I think, for any team that is ball dominant like Atlanta United is. You're going to have a lot of the ball. You're going to play your game, but there's moments in the game where you have to protect what you have, and you have to throw your body in front of a cross. You have to, block a shot. You have to do those kind of dirty, gritty things to get the job done in those moments. And that's been a talking point across the Atlanta United teams at all levels this season, especially when you get into these kinds of moments. So I think having that learning lesson from earlier in the year will help. I think it'll be a really hard-fought game. I think one thing I've seen across UPSL this season has been a good number of goals. I think the attacks are maybe a little bit ahead of the defenses in these games, and teams are going to take risks as well. And Atlanta obviously will play very on the front foot. That's the way that they play typically. So I think there's going to be goals in it. I think it's going to be a fun one, but I think Atlanta finds a way to get it done this time, 3-2.
And thank you very much to Jason Longshore for taking some time out of his busy schedule. For those of you guys who don't know, Jason is a commentator for Atlanta United up at the MLS level, who is currently up in New Jersey covering the team on behalf of 98.9. So be sure to tune in if you want to hear a great commentary up there. But let's take our attention back to what he just said. Made some very interesting points and some very tangent points about the histories, about the background. What is Dalton United here for? What are Atlanta United here for? And, you know, it leads us into a very close matchup here tonight. And let's start it off with Dalton. What are your thoughts so far on this Dalton squad for tonight?
Well, Dalton has been, for me, it's just been the diamond of this regular season.
Yeah.
They came in, they really didn't have any expectations. Yes, they did win the fall season Division I, but coming into the Premier Division, they didn't have any expectations. And they really have outperformed and have shined.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that Dalton, for me, is the perfect mixture of everything coming together at the right time. Like Jason mentioned, there is just a plethora of talent. It's basically growing on trees here with how many successful high school programs there are, just creating a phenomenal pool of players. And on top of that, I think Kiko Rodriguez and company have done a really good job of coaching players to not only be great individuals, but to be great as a unit, to put together one of the only two, I'd say, complete teams in this league alongside Atlanta United Academy. And you know, it's incredible to see not only a team like this pop up, but keep in mind, this isn't even the only team based out of Dalton in the UPSL. You have Dalton United, North Georgia United, you have the USL2 team for the affiliates for Chattanooga Red Wolves, the Dalton Red Wolves that play out of here.
And you also have in Division I, you had Volpe FC. Exactly.
I mean, there's just so much talent here that I don't think this will be the last time we are going to be at Dalton Stadium in a high-stakes matchup like this. Speaking of the Dalton side, I believe we have the rosters in tonight, and we'll have to see what Kiko Rodriguez is going to be bringing to us. Bit of a change from the default Dalton system. Obviously, you've got Mendez there in the back, electing for a back three. When we typically see a back four out from Dalton United, that means we're going to have 5 midfielders relying on wing backs to really give the team the width in the attack, and then we have Golden Boot winnow Fernando Guerrero alongside Jose Sanchez up top. I'm interested by the back three because it's not what they do typically. I think that back three is there specifically to deal with the overlaps from Atlanta United wingers and fullbacks. They do a great job of playing back and forth, and by having the wing back plus the wide center back, you kind of get this 2-on-2 matchup. Maybe your midfielder slides over as well, and you have options there, but it's always a bit of a risk playing a system that you're not necessarily playing week in and week out.
Yeah, the performances from Smith and Wilson so far this season have been so phenomenal getting down the field that it's really put these defenses, and you really saw it last weekend against Kalanji Pro Profile, how much it worked.
Yeah, and speaking of which, let's take a look at what Ricky Davey and company are bringing up here to Dalton Stadium for their attempt to win Atlanta's second title of the day, by the way. Atlanta United did win MLS Next with their U16s earlier today. Let's see if they can make it 2 for 2. Owen Barnett in goal. And this is just the Atlanta United system, 4-3-3. Playmaking wizard Sandoval starts in the midfield as number 36. You've got a front three, very fluid, Smith and Wilson on the wings. Smith is a player we definitely got to keep our eyes on tonight because he's had a very active last few weeks. Up against Dalton a few weeks ago, he received the red card that turned it into a 10v11 matchup that Atlanta United still were able to take command of. But also last week, he is the hat trick scorer at home up against Kalanji. So a lot of eyes going to be on Smith's performance here tonight to repeat the recent past, but not the far past.
Yeah, I really think the performance needs to come today from center forward Jenkins. Really didn't have a lot of production last week against Kalanji Pro Profile.
Yeah.
He needs to really showcase tonight.
Yeah, and Atlanta United are a team that typically like to play the wings. Like I said, it's all about those wingers and the fullbacks overlapping. Dalton have specifically made a defensive change to absorb that pressure, trying to isolate out those wings. So that does leave room in the middle for Jenkins to be one-on-one with Villalobos, the center back of Dalton United, and potentially with a little bit of help from Sandoval, a little bit of help from McLean, his midfield partners right behind him, there's the potential for him to really be the focal point of this attack here tonight. It's going to be close, but speaking of close, we are close to time for the walkout. So, Larry, we already got the opinion from Jason. He thinks it's going to be 3-2 to Atlanta United. What are you thinking?
I'm going to be a little off. I'm going to say 1-1 goes to PKs.
And who wins PKs?
I'm going to say Atlanta United wins PKs.
Honestly, I like that prediction. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, this is a cup match. It will go to 90 minutes of regulation. If no winner at the end of regulation, we will go to two 15-minute periods of extra time. If at the end of the additional time there is still no winner, then we'll go to PK. So that is the prediction there. I think my money is it's going to be Dalton 3-2 in extra time. I think that Dalton have made adaptations. I think they're going to live or die based off of how does that back three work. My money says they're going to be able to stifle Atlanta United, and these are players that do like to live up to the moment. And I think the biggest part is if they can keep Atlanta United from ending this game early, look at that substitute bench. Dalton have the same number of goalkeepers on their roster that Atlanta United do substitutes, 3 each side. So if this goes past the 90 minutes, I think Atlanta are going to be suffering out there with their high-intensity system, but that is going to be asking a lot out of Dalton. But I've got a bit of a feeling that magic's in the air here tonight. But I think either way, the clear winner is going to be all of us here watching, whether you're here in the stadium or watching along at home, because I don't think this is going to be anything less than an instant classic as far as the Premier Division is concerned.
Yeah, Atlanta United have had success in the Premier Division, never won the playoffs, never gone to the national tournament. Same for Dalton. This is their first time. They have no stress on them whatsoever. They just need to play.
Exactly. And like we said, these are players that have played at the highest levels of high school before. They've won championships. They've played at the level. You've got a good mix of old and young, old to lead the young, of course. Not too old, but experienced, rather, let's say. So I don't think this is a team that's really going to be out of their depths, and I think Atlanta United Academy are not used to going to home stadiums like this where you have a very vibrant crowd here tonight. We're going to have a lot of festivities all night long, and especially as the night ticks down, we have a 6 p.m. kickoff here. It's going to be dark by the time, that final whistle comes around. Playing under the lights here, this is Dalton's bread and butter. It may not be the Friday night lights of some of other Southern America, South United States' favorite pastimes here, but it's certainly going to be some night lights to remember.
Yeah, there's no place you'd rather want to be here in Dalton, Georgia, but right here at Dalton Stadium for this match that's coming up next.
Hola, 1, 2. Damas y caballeros, bienvenidos a la gran fiesta del fútbol aquí en la capital del mundo de las carpetas, aquí en la ciudad de Dalton. Un placer enorme estar con todos ustedes, la gente que ya empieza a sentir, empieza a vivir. Vamos a dar entonces los 11 del conjunto visitante, los 11 del equipo de Atlanta United. Estará bajo los 3 postes el cancerbero, el portero Owen Barnett. Línea de fondo para Grant Howard. AJ Pama con la número 35. Schroeder con la número 83. Joel González con la número 96. Ahí lo tenemos también a Joao Ramos con la 37. Jorge Sandoval con la número 36. Justin McLean con la número 82. Smith con la número 31, Wilson con la número 30 y Italo Jenkins con la número 38. Fuerte el aplauso para el equipo que viene a visitarnos en el día de hoy. Ahí está Atlanta United. Vamos a dar ahora, fuerte los aplausos, ahora se vienen los locales. Ahí está el equipo de Kiko Rodríguez. Ahí Ahí está el equipo de todos, el equipo de Dalton United, que estará con Néstor Méndez. Fuerte el aplauso para Néstor Méndez. Con la número 23 en su espalda. Mi querido amigo Hernán Saldaña con la número 23. José Villalobos, el Tico, con la número 18. Kevin Villatoro con la número 9. Taylor Fish con la número 4, el buen defensor. También tenemos a los gemelos, ahí está uno de ellos, Juan Sánchez con la número 6. Andrés Pérez con la 19. Tenemos también a Tony Saldaña con la número 24. Kobe Pérez con la 8. Ahí está el talentoso Kobe Pérez con la número 8. José Sánchez con la número 3. Y Fernando Guerrero con la número 7. Ahí están. Estos son los 11. Fuertes los aplausos para ellos. Vamos a pedirle a todo el público presente, vamos a respetar las estrofas del himno de los Estados Unidos de América, el país que nos abre las puertas a todos nosotros. Vamos a ponernos de pie, por favor, para escuchar las estrofas del himno de los Estados Unidos de América.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to UPSL Finals action. This is, of course, ASMG's coverage of the UPSL Georgia Premier Division Cup Finals. Winner of this match of Atlanta United versus Dalton FC. Dalton United, FC, will be headed, of course, to the National Championship bracket and be lifting our Cup Final trophy here tonight. Full house here in Dalton, Georgia at Dalton Stadium. And we are just moments away from the biggest game of the season for the UPSL Premier Division. I'm still Steven Johnson. That's still Larry Weaver. Larry, how would you describe the atmosphere in here tonight?
We are chock-a-block full of a crowd and attendance. I love it. This is what the UPSL is all about. Win or go home. Think about it in the Regional Cup, but right now it's all about winning and going on to the national tournament.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself, Larry. Two teams out here tonight, both with one hand on the trophy. Of course, only one can walk away with it, and their ticket to the National Championship bracket punched here tonight. Atlanta United are in their black and red kits. They'll be going from right to left across your screen. Hometown Dalton United FC, they're in their white and reds, going left to right across your screen. Atlanta United will be getting the kickoff here to start our first 45 minutes of play. Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, this is a cup knockout competition. So if we don't have a winner after 90, we'll go 30 additional minutes. And if there's still no winner, we will go to penalty kicks. Last time we were here, it was a 2-2 draw that Dalton stole at the last minute. This time around, new tactics, new players. Let's see how we do as we get this game kicked off. As Atlanta United get us started. 4-3-3 is the formation. Atlanta United very focused on these overlaps. Looks like a little bit of a match time change here. 41 slotting it the near side. That's just a different numbering for Gonzalez. Down that right side, already beautiful overlap. Off to the races, Wilson on the ball, has Smith on the far side. Wilson goes down at that corner. That's a PK this early in the match. That is, what a call so far. I got to see a replay on that one.
Yes, we have to take a look at this. And let's see what we see, Steven. You see this ball moving down the right-hand side. All acres of space. A little bit of a hold up there, and then he goes down a little soft, but it's in the box. I guess that the center ref is going to say that's enough to be considered a PK here just in 1 minute of this match.
Yeah, and Smith, the hat trick scorer from last week up against Kalanji, he's standing over the ball to get it started in the first minute of play. Smith lining up over this one, takes a step wide, puts it through, almost saved by the goalkeeper, number 99, Mendez. Atlanta United start this cup final off in style.
Well, that's a way to take the butterflies out of the stomach for Atlanta United Academy, just easy as you have it. Steps up. Keeper goes the right direction, just doesn't have enough to hold it off, and it is 1-0 2 minutes in for Atlanta United Academy.
Yeah, and that is got to be devastating for the home crowd here. Obviously going to be cheering their players on. Dalton United are no strangers to being in a tough situation, and they are going to be in a tough situation here tonight. Atlanta United already potentially making this 2 trophies for the organization here today in the lower divisions. MLS Next team of their U16s, I believe, won their cup match earlier today. Atlanta United Academy would certainly love to join their brother in arms. We'll have to keep a close eye on this one. But that was that overlap that we've been talking about. It's those fullback, winger overlaps that just open up so much space. Wilson did a phenomenal job on that far side. Smith, great job of actually putting that one home. And now Atlanta United, they can play their possession style that they want to. They can let Dalton get behind the ball. Look at all the space on the left side. Dispossessed on that far side will be called for Atlanta United, but already you got to be wondering, is Kiko going to be starting to have some second thoughts about the way that he set his squad up here tonight? Because the back three was built to defend against that specific situation, and already it's been blown wide open on the first play of the game.
And when you look at the match from the regular season, Atlanta United, yes, they had 2 goals, but they were very weak goals.
Yeah, certainly so. And here it is once again. Good interplay down that right side. Back and forth into the feet of Jenkins, who's dropped off quite a bit to help the build-up. Dalton winning possession back there on the far side. Atlanta maintain possession. Should be swinging that around the back. We got Palma and Schroeder holding down our 2 center back positions. Barnett, who was the goalkeeper responsible for that yellow card last second, stopped that, potentially actually handed Dalton United the win as they were able to score off that set piece. Now ball played over to Smith, who was actually the red card in that last meeting of the 2 teams. Maybe a little bit of bad blood between him and some of the players. We'll have to see how that plays here tonight. Man United, beautiful ball played to the far side. Nice little skimmer. Played into the midfield, poorly possessed. Dalton there on the ball, playing this wide, trying to find Sanchez here. Sanchez has some support to the outside, plays it off. Here comes the cavalry, driving down this right wing, not quite able to get his way around, and back to Villatoro. Fish was unable to find a way through. Playing in here to that holding midfield. Intercepted. Wilson was the player who earned the penalty kick, dispossessed. Ball played into the midfield. Atlanta United, they maintained possession. Playing down that right side, Howard, the fullback, all the way back around. And Dalton, they're getting a little scrappy, but haven't really made Atlanta United sweat just yet. Cutting in, good movement down that left side. Few jumps, strong tackle. Will give Dalton an attack, looking to cross this ball into the midfield. Villatoro, that wide center back, he's dispossessed. Foul called. Looks like it's going to be a free kick just outside of the box here. And already Dalton with their first major goal-scoring opportunity on the night.
We'll take a look at it and see what we have to say about that. As you see this ball coming in on number 9, trying to get around the defender. Just a bit of a tug back there by number 37, and I think that's what the center ref warrants the free kick.
Yeah, I mean, especially with how the last matchup went, it makes perfect sense. The referee's going to be keeping a very tight lid here on proceedings tonight. 2 members lined up over this, one of which being Sanchez. Options in the box. Outswinger. Nails a member of Atlanta United wall, so good job from the wall doing its job. But we'll be going behind for a Dalton corner kick. Corner kick played short very quickly, laid off once again. Lofted ball to the back post, nobody home. Strong control coming out from that left side. Saldana, the left-sided center back, moves up. Driving down that left side once again, rounding the corner. 3 members in defense, controlled by Barnett. Dalton, they're finding the individual movements through the box so far, but unable to find anything more as a player slow to get up. That is number 4 for Dalton United. That is Fish, the right wing back. Interesting to see tonight so far. Dalton have been very fluid with their positioning. We were originally expecting a back 3 with the wing backs, Fish being one of those wing backs. Do note he is currently on the left side of the goal as a right wing back. Additionally, so most of the dangerous attacks have been from Villatoro, number 9 here, as you can see, bottom of the formation. He's the right wing back, but he ended up inside the box. So already we're seeing that Coach Kiko Rodriguez is definitely giving those wide center backs a little bit more freedom for where they want to go. I mean, especially when you're down a goal like this, plenty of time left to come back, but you do need to start adding a little bit of extra spice in order to find a way through, but could leave them vulnerable to a very, very aggressive Atlanta United counterattack. Laying it out to the wings once again. Howard on the ball, plays that up, can't quite find Wilson. As Dalton have locked Atlanta United back in their own half here for, I'd say, the last 3-4 minutes. Potentially building to something. Ball to the back line. Clearance. It looked like McLean getting a strong boot to that one. Or actually, that looks like Schroeder, number 83 versus number 82. Very good and disciplined backline for Atlanta United. They are very rarely the ones at fault for a goal the other way. Big throw in coming over the top for Atlanta. Against Dalton, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Dalton United, they take a long throw opportunity, a little bit of a flick of the head, and that's what the doctor ordered here in Dalton. And at Dalton Stadium, Dalton United, they level it back up 1-1 here in the 9th minute of play.
Talk about having some secret sauce in the bag. Take a look at this throw coming in for Dalton United. Absolutely superb into the box. Then it's just a little bit of a head flick into the back of the net. Nothing that Barnett can do. 1-1.
If there was ever a strategy guide written for how do you beat a bigger team, the first 3 lines of that would be set pieces, set pieces, set pieces. And it's so undervalued how powerful a long throw can be. But sometimes you just got to put the ball in the box of uncertainty. And the Greek god of chaos is sometimes on your side. And you saw that right there, ladies and gentlemen. Dalton United level this game right back, almost giving their Saldana a little bit of a, hey, buddy, don't worry, we got you covered. It's 0-0. Let's play this game through. And I don't think this crowd at Dalton would have it any other way, as it is a level game now, headed into the 10th minute. Another player down on the play.
That's Fish again, number 4.
Yeah.
I think his day is going to be coming close to an end because he's really struggling ever since that opportunity that happened there in the box.
Yeah. I mean, this has been a busy schedule these players have been going through. Full seasons, plus a lot of these teams play on other competitions. The shoe is coming off. He's going to be helped off the pitch by the trainer. Keep an eye on that armband as he is the captain here tonight. If he hands it off, that almost certainly is going to mean that his night is done. So once again, that is Fish, number 4, slotted as the right wing back. Looking at the substitute sheet here from Dalton, and I'll tell you, they brought an army to this game. I was joking before the game, but Dalton have as many goalkeepers as Atlanta United have substitutes, 3 being that magic number. I think if we're going to see a substitution, if Fish is coming off, which would once again be an absolute devastation for the team, we would likely see number 16, Valdares, who is also listed as a right wing back. Should skipper Kiko Rodriguez decide to stay the course with his back 3? Looks like they're going to give some time to treat that on the sideline. So Dalton United may potentially be playing a man down here to see if they can get their captain back in this one. Throw in comes, goes to the back line. Atlanta United plays it up, down the line once again. Few different colored lines on the pitches, ladies and gentlemen. You're looking for the black line. That is the soccer markings here tonight. You'll see that, of course, here on the touch lines, on the end lines, and around the box. Beauty of American high school fields. You typically see the 4 or 5 different markings there. Playing that ball back around, Atlanta United unable to maintain possession in the midfield. Driving back the other way. Strong hold up from Perez. Perez laying it off. Finds other Perez. There are 2 Perez's here tonight. A Perez, number 19. K Perez, number 8. Also we have 2 Sanchez's and 2 Saldanas. So few sets of players here. Looking big cross coming out from Saldana. Finds that far post. Turns to the inside. Good chop. Chops again. 2 members in the box. Chops for a 3rd time. Lets a shot rip. It's deflected. Good defensive effort from number 35 on the back line. Palma. Good defensive contribution. Cleared away by Howard, the right back, who comes streaking across the formation to put that ball out of play. Good movement once again from Atlanta United. And this is what you'll see from Dalton. They do have some similarities to Kalanji, where those wide players are willing to go one-on-one with their direct man marks. But I think they have a much better sense of how to play together in the final third, which is how they're going to try to break down Atlanta United for the goals. Played up here to the right wing, cycling around. Still a man down as Fischke is still playing out there. Sanchez has floated to the right side of the formation to add some additional depth out here on the right. Interestingly enough, Guerrero, I don't think, has seen any of the ball. And that is, of course, Dalton United's Golden Boot winner. 11 goals on the season. We're able to earn him that prestige. Number 11 on the ball, playing across. Not going to find its way through the defense. That's number 11 for Dalton United. That's Hutanda, the substitute. So maybe we actually have seen a substitution here in the game. Let's play a counting game. We got 4 there, 3. Yep, substitution comes out. Looks like they've subbed in an attacking midfielder, so potentially a switch to back 4. Ball comes in across. Howard with the big boot to keep it out. Almost caught Barnett sleeping there. Good run out of the back. Villalobos will put that ball in behind. Yeah, still receiving treatment on that far side, but given that there's a new player in, I assume that substitution has taken place.
Yeah, it looks like he's got ice on the ankle, so his day is done.
Yeah. I mean, you never want to see your captain going down that quickly, but that substitution does mean that we're basically seeing a change in formation. Driving down the left side, here's Guerrero finally on the ball. He's got the overlap available. Lays it off. Big ball in across. Find its way all the way to the far side of the formation. Fellow striker Sanchez driving in. Tries to cut it inside. Left-footed effort, but falls pretty nicely to goalkeeper Barnett. So
you can see Dalton still holding the 3 center backs, and then they got their defensive midfielder just above, almost in a triangle formation in this defensive shell.
Yeah, we'll have to see. They've been doing a really good job of playing a pretty high press. They've blocked Atlanta United in. In fact, ever since their goal, I don't think Atlanta have actually had a chance to leave their half. This throw in here on the far side could potentially be the first time that ball crosses the midfield line in a few minutes. Aggressive defending comes out. Great touch in the midfield. Clean, able to play it through. Has an option in the middle, but good step out of the backfield. Not quite able to play it past Villalobos. Now dribbling down that far side. Here's Dalton, number 11. He's in space. Howard plays him onside. Good goalkeeping comes out, but picked up again in the midfield. 24 on the ball. Big loft into the midfield. Guerrero plays it around. Tries to run onto the end of it himself, but Howard gets the clearance in the end. Dalton, they are not done in the attack just yet. Here comes Sanchez. Sanchez laying off for Guerrero. Puts it into the inside. Plays it across the box. Sanchez not able to find his way through traffic. Saldana playing it around. Dalton building the attack once more. Both strikers over here on the right side not able to make it through. Howard once again lays it off to his far partner. Picked off once again. Dalton, big movement. Smith's got to be careful there. That's a pretty aggressive bump he just gave. Once again, this was the red card recipient from that last match.
He took the words out of my mouth. That's exactly what he got in trouble for last match.
Yeah, and you can already see. Jason Longshore mentioned this on the interview before. It's going to be a bit of a gritty, a little dirty of a game where both teams are going to be using some physicality in here. And it's all fun and games until someone starts getting the yellow card. So keep an eye on that. So far, the referees had a pretty good handle on the proceedings here tonight. Into the midfield. Dalton driving, finding their way through. Once again, making some moves down this right side. 1-on-1 into the space. Takes a shot. Just goes over and wide. That's number 6, Sanchez, listed as that left wing back. He gets a chance to put something on the board.
Well, take a look at that chance that Dalton had just a few minutes ago when that ball got through the defensive line, caught Atlanta United sleeping, and Barnett had to run all the way out of his box to clear that out. That was a great opportunity for Dalton. Dalton's been on the top of the front foot for the last 12, 13 minutes.
Yeah, honestly, it looked like he caught Howard sleeping there as the man through was played onside by Howard. Thankfully, great goalkeeping coming through for Barnett, able to collect that ball outside the box and just send it to Kingdom Come. Speaking of which, Howard on the ball, heavy touch, will play it out for a throw-in going Dalton's way. And you can almost see that there's something going on with Dalton here tonight. They're finding that extra gear that they maybe haven't found, especially in their last matchup. They're being aggressive. They're closing down on Atlanta United. And you can start to see Atlanta United, they're starting to flinch.
Yeah, there's times where Dalton United use their emotion to get them through to another step, whereas Atlanta United, they're a little bit more stoic. They're a little bit more machine.
Yeah, and there's nothing like a great home crowd like we have here at Dalton Stadium up in Dalton, Georgia, to get your players, on to that next level. Atlanta United, they start the attack once again, very slowly building out of the back. Sandoval on the ball, lays it off. There's Ramos. Playing it wide. Howard on the ball. Gonzalez here on the near side. Smith. Dalton are just dropping everyone back behind the ball, so the normal overlaps that Atlanta United are used to just are not working at the moment. Ball over the top, looking for Smith on that left side, gets the header. Not going to be followed up in time. Bit of a risky pass back. Speaking of which, big ball out of the back. That's Mendez. Playing it up, Gonzalez with the header. Touched in. Catches. Like so.
You see Dalton, the way that they're forming up, they're almost with a 4 back line and then the defensive midfielder right above on top of them.
Yeah, I think that's the substitution they've made. I mean, they've put another body in the midfield where they've been the most dangerous. Speaking of danger, good movement coming out from Schroeder. Comes out of the backfield for Atlanta United to get that interception. But Dalton are able to maintain possession, signaling it for on the right side. Big ball over the top, but it's just going to fall to Barnett, who has so much space, he just takes it with the feet. Atlanta United still under a heavy press. Guerrero would certainly love to add another goal to the tally here tonight. Big shove, but that's going to open up some space in behind. Not enough, however. Ball played back. Goes up top again. Villatoro, who's basically slotted in as the right fullback at this point in the match. Atlanta United with some very clear frustrations. Already referee having some words with McLean. Ball's in. Dalton content with playing this one around the back. Villatoro receives from Villalobos. Villatoro driving this right side. Has the overlap from Sanchez. Ball over the top. Finds Guerrero in space one-on-one. Has a man to the inside. Holds the ball. Plays it inside. 24. Plays it wide. Saldana out to the far flank. Good shot. Ripped a goal. That's Sanchez with a rocket of a shot. Almost collected by the incoming run of early substitution Hitanda. And Dalton continue to look dangerous here tonight. Barnett. Schroeder. Find Gonzalez left side. Played inside. There's Smith. Smith misplays that ball. Ends up catching number 11, Hitanda. Smith is going to be receiving a talking to. Once again, I cannot stress enough, this is the player who got a red card last time he was up here at Dalton. And you got to wonder if that is playing on his mind. I don't think that was anything too malicious. Looks like he just caught the player, but in a finals match like tonight, it's easy to let emotions get the better of you. Ball played over the top from that left wing. Received right side. There's Sanchez. Sanchez outside of the boot pass, inside, finds Villatoro. Villatoro to Perez. Perez up the pitch, into the middle, can't quite find his way through traffic. Guerrero goes to war with McLean, but McLean comes out on top. That is a suspicious play on that far side. Wilson, the recipient of the PK, is taken down. Yellow card caution. That was either to number 23, Saldana, or to number 18. If we can get a replay on that, just to confirm the identity.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the replay of that foul there. We'll see Dalton lose possession. Atlanta United trying to get a quick transition, get it forward. He just kind of tugs him back.
Yeah, but who was that?
And that's going to be
Saldana? I think that was 23 Saldana. Or 24, 23 Saldana.
I think it was number 23 as well.
Yep. All right, so that's first yellow card caution of the night handed out to Dalton. Number 23, Saldana, of course, being it. That is the second bump of the night Wilson has taken. He is one of the biggest threats, I think, on this Atlanta United team. His partnership with Howard on that far side was obviously what created our first PK of the night, but in regular play, he is a dangerously quick winger. So it'd certainly be a huge loss for Atlanta United. And keep in mind, I've made at least 3 jokes about it thus far, but Atlanta United just do not have a bench here tonight. They have Wharton, Higham, and Alvarez. Alvarez last seen playing in that left fullback position. What they need now is a winger. Thankfully, Wilson and Smith have been pretty fluid with which side of the formation they play on, so you could take a left winger, you could take a right winger, or you could just take Wilson, who is able to soldier on. We'll have to see how he's able to keep going tonight, but I do have to say, Atlanta United, they do build them tough. Ball to McLean. Lets it roll through. Finds Gonzalez. Intercepted there. Villatoro, who's just had an absolute night so far, lays it off. Perez. He's driving through the midfield, able to outmuscle the man. That is a tug and a half, and the crowd would like to show it. Yellow card caution going to be awarded to number 36. That's Sandoval. And that is a bad member for Atlanta United to be on the sheet so far. Hasn't done a lot here tonight, but he is sometimes a bit of a wizard, a bit of a maestro with the ball at his feet, able to find some pretty dangerous crosses. But yeah, that was, I mean, I don't know how you argue that. That was just through and through. That's a pull of the jersey every day.
Our center ref, Ahmed Hadzik, having a Really, really solid game so far, these 25 minutes.
Yeah.
He had to make a really hard call right there in the first minute with the PK. Calling it right down the middle.
Over the top, not going to find its way through. Yeah, thoroughly agreed on the referee. I mean, a lot of referees would be a little bit afraid to call a foul like that, but, you know, he didn't care whether it was a preseason friendly or a cup final. He saw a penalty, he called a penalty. Good on him. Dalton continue their attack once more. McLean able to pick this ball up. Back out to McLean. Plays it through the legs. Beautiful movement now to Smith. Smith intercepted via Toro once again. The machine from Dalton United. Now playing it down that right flank. Gonzalez picks it up. Here's McLean once again. Back heels it over to Smith. Well, Schroeder on the back line looking for a switch of play. Barnett. So United hit the pressure release valve and toss it back to the keeper. Dalton already are back in the press the other side. Wilson tries to drop a little bit far back and leave a 1-2 through ball for Howard. Not quite going to find it just yet. Very exciting game thus far. Dalton United, of course, giving up the early PK and then finding the response goal off that long throw-in. Heavy press coming out of the backfield. Tip from the Atlanta United midline. Will laid off to Barnett. And this is potentially one of the weaknesses of the Atlanta United team. And I'll be honest, I don't say those words very often, but it seems like Dalton United, they've done a lot of research. They've studied the Atlanta system. They know exactly who to press and when to press. And when you are an academy team, you're usually kind of locked into playing the club style, the 4-3-3. So they are somewhat limited on adaptations, but I think they have enough talent, enough in the tank to find something here. Good play down that right side. Trying to drive it to the middle. Beautiful ball laid off. Takes a touch. Not able. Howard. Shot ripped. It's saved. Amazing run comes through the middle of the pitch. Looked like number 38, Jenkins, really looks to put his center forward mark on the match. Unfortunately, it's a good save coming out of Mendez. Didn't have to dive too far from it, but still a solid under pressure, 2-ground save, and most importantly, a good hold from Mendez. Keeps Dalton United level in this one. Ball played immediately up to the top of the pitch. Moving from the inside, laid off. Options available. Dalton United with so many options, they're just running into each other in the pitch. Down that left side, tries to find Guerrero, not going to find the center. Palma, number 35 in that back line for Atlanta United. Good sliding clearance.
Look at that replay real quick. Dalton's keeper hasn't had really much work to do these last 10 minutes or so, but this time, right on the chance, down, save.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good rip. Potentially could have been taken first time there, but finds a great shot on goal. Ball played across. Here's Via Toro. Receiving this on the right side of the formation. Cuts inside. Beautiful movement. Lays it off. Six driving inside. Sent back to that defensive line. Perez plays that across. Back to that left back. All the way back across the formation. Saldana on the ball. Laying it off. Here's Sanchez. Worked his way all the way over to the right side of the formation. Sliding challenge coming through from Smith. Back to that left side. And now Atlanta United, they smell a break. Aggressive defending coming out. Number 24, Saldana. A little bit of a push in the back. Maybe counting himself lucky to not be seeing any colors on that one. But anytime Atlanta United smell even the slightest drop of blood in the water, the absolute great white sharks that is this high press from Dalton United just absolutely collapsed. But look at that. Ball through to Smith. Can we get the recovery run? Oh, coming together between the defender and the keeper. But either way, able to knock that ball out of the bag via Lobos and Mendez. get pretty up close and personal on that one, but hey, a clearance is a clearance.
Yeah, a little bit of a lack of communication, but it's...
Yeah, I think we're going to take a quick second. That was definitely a goalkeeper putting his body on the line for that one. It's going to maybe need a second to recover. It is easy to get the calls mixed up. You know, it's easy to not hear the goalkeeper call, but either way, we're back. Big throw coming in. Lane United, they're going to look to repeat the success from Dalton just to punch away. Goalkeeper's out. Shot taken, shot blocked. Dalton United escaped from that one. It was a little nervy when goalkeeper Mendez comes out, gets the two-handed punch, but doesn't quite clear the ball. Good boot out there, Villatoro, who certainly has a good amount of supporters and definitely can't blame him. Out here for the Dalton crew. Smith laying that off to McLean. Smith looking for options. Jenkins up top. Run on the inside, not going to be found. Driving in the left side, good pullback. Just a bit of a chipped pass over. Not going to find pay dirt. 36 picks the ball up. He's going to be denied as well. Sandoval can't quite make his way through. Oh, poor pass back, but it's not going to cost him. Schroeder plays it back up. Here's McLean. McLean options inside. Elects the shot himself. Rips one in a diving save. Out from Mendez. Mendez with a solid set of hands on that shot. It's kind of that picture-perfect goalkeeper dive. Not necessarily the greatest placement in the world, but a solid shot nonetheless. And look at the run through here. He had options inside, but McLean says, you know, if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself. Great save out of Mendez. And just in these last few minutes, Atlanta United, they have looked dangerous.
Yeah,
but now
Mendez putting in a shift here in these first 32 minutes.
About to say, imagine getting that close contact with your defender and then being forced to make a diving save like that. That is, you know, they just don't build goalkeepers like that anymore. Ball played, corner kick in swinger. Turned away at the near post into space. Lance United should have room to turn this one back around. Cross played in. Rips a shot. Ow! What an opportunity there. That was Smith who found himself with some room. Takes the chest, goes for it off the volley. And what a if we had a Puskas award in this league, that probably would have been it if he found it right there. But
yeah, we take another look at this. You can see ball gets away on that corner, sends it back to the central, right to Smith, and he just rips one. He's just a little bit off on his body.
Yeah. And with
not
that,
able to get it perfectly on frame.
Yeah, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the middle of, you know, Georgia summer. It is kind of hot outside. It's 87 degrees here by our account, just blistering sun. So we will be taking a quick water break and hydration break just to make sure our players are good and topped off. Time will, of course, be added on to the end of the half, but I think this has definitely been a game of ebbs and flows. Atlanta United obviously getting the PK in the first minute of the game, converted by Smith, was, I don't even know if it was against the flow of the game because the flow hadn't started yet.
No.
Can you be against the flow if the flow does not exist yet? That's a question for the philosophers among us. But
I would say, if anything, it just caught the defense of Dalton off guard so early in the match, and a little bit of a luck to get that PK.
Yeah.
But then you saw for the next 12, 14 minutes, Dalton United really take control of the match.
Yeah, they did. And, of course, on the back end of that, they get the long throw in, and off the set piece, they find the response goal and almost willed on by the phenomenal crowd we have here at Dalton Stadium. One of the biggest groups I've seen here in all the UPSL. In fact, I actually just saw some North Georgia.
Yeah, I was going to say, not only are we
jerseys walk
seeing
in.
fans, but we're seeing VIPs as well, some North Georgia players and staff. I've seen some other players for some other squads here as well. So definitely all hands on deck for this match.
Yeah, for those of you wondering, you know, Steven, what on earth are you talking about? That's an empty stand over there. We have them on the near side, ladies and gentlemen, so, you know. We do have quite a crowd out here at Dalton Stadium. Looks like our lovely color commentator. Yep, there we go. Phenomenal turnout here. And this really does show how much of a community team this is. Dalton has to be seen as one of the hottest beds of soccer here for developmental play here in not only Georgia, but in the United States. So many successful high school teams. You have the likes of USL teams. You have multiple UPSL teams. You have Volpe. You have North Georgia. I mean, this is this is not a team versus, this is not Dalton United versus Atlanta United. This is Dalton, the town, the city, versus Atlanta United here today.
And that's what we need here in UPSL is we need to see these teams that get this community to round them to really showcase the talent that's here in this division.
Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, and we're back on the game after that water break. Dalton, they are right back to work. Big ball played over the top. Controlled in the midfield. Guerrero laying that off far side. Here comes Sanchez. Sanchez laying it off. Can't find his way through traffic, but does find it way back to him. Rips a shot across. In fact, that may have been a cross himself. Bodies Gonzalez. Gonzalez takes a few seconds to get up there on that left side.
Yeah, if there was one player that I could say for Atlanta United that has a little bit of an asterisk so far in this first half, it's going to be number 41. He's really had some moments in this match where he's really struggled.
Yeah, and I will say, ladies and gentlemen, we've been calling him Gonzalez this whole time. We have Gonzalez listed on our roster sheet as number 96. I don't have a number 41 in front of me. So any of you guys in the chat or we'll be sending our reporters down to the Atlanta United side to see what the story is there. But yeah, 41 looks a little shaky. Maybe it was a last-second call-up. We'll of course, correct that as we know. Also some big heavy hitters for Atlanta United, Scarves and Spikes. If you guys know, let us know. Happy to see you around. But yeah, I mean, it certainly has been. This right side has been a very fruitful for Dalton. I think having Villatoro here in the back, number 9, as just a defensive workhorse, as well as the overlap coming from Sanchez, who really has embraced this right-hand side with his striking partner, number 7, Guerrero, on the left-hand side. I think that combination has really been fruitful for Dalton so far, but with all that considered, we are still with a 1-1 score line. Dalton certainly working a little bit harder for theirs. Held in the midfield. Here's Sandoval. Plays it up top, gets the play back. Not going to find the second line. Ball cleared way over top. Jenkins not able to get on the end of it. Good control from Perez. Perez plays it wide. Here's Sanchez down this right-hand side as the crowd goes wild for that one. Bit of a roll. The ball not going to find its way through. Sanchez plays it across. Can't quite find Perez at the far post. Howard. Full backing excellence exemplified. Able to see that ball out behind. And as we enter the 38th minute of play here in Dalton Stadium in Dalton, Georgia, Atlanta United regain possession, but certainly look to be on that back foot. Thank you very much to the chat. Rotor. Long O, thank you very much. Playing through the midfield, not quite able to find its way through the line. Dalton picking up possession here. Utunda playing Guerrero. Back to that back line. Down the left side. Dalton trying to make inroads. Good few step overs. Utunda looks to lay it off, I think, for the overlap for Sanchez, but nobody home at the end of the day. And Dalton off that push, they're going to have to reset once more. Interesting up here from Atlanta United. Barnett has, the last few times, just played a quick touch. Over to his center back. Driving down the midfield. Finding McLean, left side, takes deflection, but finds its way down to that left-hand side. Not able to find its way through. Back around. Play to that left back. Saldana on the ball. Ball played over top. Finds its way. Guerrero onto the end of it. Has Sanchez here in support. Reinforcements arriving for Atlanta. Sanchez on the ball. Dispossessed. Good movement. McLean can't quite get on the end of it. Ball bouncing in the box. Sandoval able to put it behind Palma. Palma able to play it out wide. Howard to that left side. Dispossessed. Atlanta continue to try to break out of this high press. Unsuccessfully, Dalton regained possession in a very dangerous place. Villatoro. Sandana now to the left side. Dispossessed, Atlanta United. Big defensive challenge, and that should be a card. That's a red card. What? That was Saldana. That was number 23. He already had been on 1 yellow card, and right now, the 40th minute of the game, he is sent off with a red card for a wildly aggressive challenge. So just like that, Dalton United, they are down to just 10 members on the pitch. And what a blow that has to be for Dalton United.
And talk about an exact replay of the first match, except the roles reverse. We see here, Atlanta United get possession, and he just sticks his foot in, and he ends up getting the yellow, which ends up being a red. Almost exactly what happened to Smith in the first match. And now Dalton United are going to have to play 50 minutes, basically, down a man.
Yeah, and that's down on the play. It looks like Ramos, who basically was just cleaned out from below. Yeah, it's certainly a feisty match all around. Both sides coming in aggressively. And you always felt like with how much contact there was, maybe somebody was going to take it a little bit too far. The passion in the air, it's high tonight. But like you said, this is almost a complete role reversal from last time. Last time, Atlanta United, they were down in the game. They get the yellow card, the second yellow card, right around halftime, have to play down a man and almost end up actually winning. So not necessarily over for Dalton United, but it is a completely different match here as Atlanta United will, as long as they don't get a silly second yellow, I mean, Sandoval is on a yellow currently, they will have the man advantage for the rest of the night. So at this point, it's a question of how long can Dalton hold on.
And just like the previous match in the regular season, that second yellow coming from what really is an unnecessary foul.
Yeah, I mean, you've been seeing some players go to ground here around the midfield. It's not unexpected, but it was just a low percentage chance. You already had Ramos, who is back turned to him, running away with it, and just goes through the back of him. That's an easy decision from the referee. Once again, props to him for, not, being afraid to show some cards, not being afraid to call a foul just because of what game it is tonight. He's calling it like it's any other. And I think in the long term, that's going to help put a bit of a taper on this aggression. Dalton United still need to play physically, but now with the thought in the back of their minds that they're down a man. Certainly the back three is gone, especially given that we've lost the wing back.
Well, and
to
you can
an
already
injury.
see number 3, Sanchez, giving up that striker position and coming back into defense.
Yeah. He's basically pulling double duty now as that fullback.
And now it leaves Sanchez or Guerrero up on top by himself.
Yeah, so I think right now, and you see it, Atlanta United pressing the ball even higher. Good runs from Jenkins, not quite able to find it. Now played down this left side. Maintained possession. Foul called by somebody.
A foul on the keeper with that attack there.
With the fall through. Yeah. So.
As we do, we take care of our keepers. The referees are always going to take a little bit extra protection for the keeper.
Yeah, no arguments here. I mean, Mendes has already been a bit through the ringer tonight, from his own players, albeit. I believe he collided with Villalobos in about the 30th minute of the game, so not exactly as fresh as a daisy right now, but you want your goalkeepers a little bit worked in. So now Dalton looking to probably get at least one more goal on the board, as that would give them the safety to at least make it to extra time versus Atlanta. But just so much match to be played here tonight. Shove in the back from Smith. Smith
Again,
is already.
That's what Smith got in trouble with in the first match.
Yeah, and he's already received a caution from the referee. I don't think it was enough of a push to give him a yellow card, but I guarantee you that was the last time the referee is going to give Smith the benefit of the doubt on that one. He's not on a card yet, so a yellow card caution is not the end of the world, but as we keep saying, he is the member who received the red card last game, so keep your eyes if history does repeat itself. Atlanta United reinvigorated with the fact that they are now a man up here. Look at just how many members they're sending forward. Not able to man mark on the back line. Playing it forward to Jenkins. Actually lets it roll. Here's Smith. Going to keep it on the left foot. Takes a shot. It dribbles in. And it's Jenkins at the back post. Atlanta United. They capitalize immediately on the man advantage. And they put this game firmly in their grasp. Well worked. Well taken. Well played, Atlanta.
What a way to take control late in the match. Smith, he's making a way on the left side, slides it through. The keeper's able to get a little bit of a tug on it, but he can't stop it into the back of the net. I believe that is a Tyler Jenkins, exactly what we were talking about, needed to make his mark in this match.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that probably looked like a brace for Smith, who realistically was the one who created that opportunity. But when you're a striker and there's a ball in front of goal, you take your foot, you put it through the ball, and you make sure that is a point. I mean, I don't think they're going to care who scores it as long as Atlanta United now take commanding control of this game right before the halftime. 45 minutes just crested. We'll see what stoppage time the referees allows. Should have a few minutes at least for the water break, plus a few injuries. But Dalton United have such a mountain to climb here tonight. They have the fans, they have the supporters, but they're down a goal, and now they're down a man. Mendez plays it up top. I think you're going to see a lot of this tonight. Mendez just wants to get the ball as far away as possible. Bit of a miscontrol in that back line. Dalton, they smell blood in the water. No foul being called. Honestly, I think that's the right choice. A bit of a miscontrol by Wilson on that far side. We can go ahead and take another look at that potentially. Or no, we're just going to keep soldiering on.
Yeah, they went right back in quickly.
Yeah.
Didn't even give us the time to look at it. But it wasn't really a foul. It was just
he got the ball.
Good stand-up play by the defense of Atlanta United.
Yeah, the crowd may be a little bit biased towards the home side of Dalton, hence a few of the shouts, but definitely almost actually caught me by surprise. A bit of a miscontrol in the back. Give Dalton a chance, and they're going to have to be really opportunistic here tonight now. They're not going to be able to outnumber their opponents. They've got to outplay them. Ball played over the top here. Not going to find its way through the defense. Almost finds Saldana, who worked his way into that right position. Throw-in taken by Sanchez. Droid dribbling in the midfield. Perez, good hold-up play, lays it off. Here comes Villalobos. Ball played across the box. Oh, can't quite find the man up top. Dribbling that into the corner. Here's Sanchez on the ball, lays it off. Working its way through traffic. There's the 1-2 touch. Can't quite get across the foot of the defender. Good shot ripped from that right side. Sanchez still looking dangerous. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, looks like the answer was about 3 minutes of stoppage time. We will go into the halftime. Dalton United trailing here at home to Atlanta United 1-2. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We have a thrilling conclusion to the finals coming up right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the festivities are fully underway here at Dalton Stadium up in Dalton, Georgia. My name's Stephen Johnson, still joined by Larry Weaver on the broadcast. And there may be a lot to celebrate here in the stands, but I don't think there is as much to celebrate in the huddle currently for Dalton United. Currently trailing Atlanta United 2-1, but most importantly, Saldana, number 23, left center back, already sent off with a red card, means that Dalton needs to find a way to claw back into this match while a man down.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard 45 minutes for Dalton United to get back into this match. Atlanta United, the one thing about them, don't have that many subs.
Right.
So it's going to be all hands on deck for Dalton United. See if they can just win by attrition and really put it to them. But right now, all Atlanta United has to do is just hold the line and get out of this with a victory.
Yeah, and you can already kind of figure out what those substitutions are going to be earmarked for. Sandoval, of course, already on the yellow. Wilson has been taking a beating here today on the right wing. I'd be shocked if those are two players that don't see the bench at some point. Substitutions coming back on for them. It'll be interesting to see what they do. But I think the opposite part of that is that Dalton, not only do they have, I think, a bit more fit players on the pitch right now, but they have so many substitution opportunities. Obviously, they've already subbed on Hitanda. Unfortunately, Captain Fish had to be taken off very early in the game in the 9th minute because of that injury, but you know, you still got Hernandez, you still got Valadares, Hera, Rodriguez, Saldana, Medina. You have so many fresh legs that you can bring on at the end of this match if you're just trying to find that equalizer to put it to extra time.
And the one thing that Dalton United cannot do is try to hope a ball over the top to Guerrero is going to get them victory. You cannot rely on the ball over the top because Atlanta United knows that game. They've seen that game with Kalanji Pro Profile and with other likes around the UPSL Georgia. They know that system. They'll shut it down.
Yeah, I think they're going to be playing a little bit more through the midfield still. They are down a man. They have swapped some people around. Sanchez, number 3, dropping over to the right side. Sanchez 6 over on the left side. And then basically playing Hitanda up top left in place where Sanchez was supposed to start. They're still trying to find those quick combinations that play them through Atlanta United. But I think the thing they have to have right now is just an absolute bloodlust. They have to have a killer instinct of exactly when these tired players on Atlanta make that extra step, they take that extra second to play a ball. If they can capitalize on it, which they nearly did here nearly at the end of the half right there, if they can capitalize on a slip-up from Atlanta United, all it takes is one goal to bring us back level, potentially force the extra time, and if you want to go crazy, PKs are still on the board here.
And that's one thing. Barnett, with that mistake late in the match in the regular season, got to be able to not make any mistakes here for 45 minutes for Atlanta United. They have, remember, they've had success in the regular season. They've never gotten this far in the playoffs. They've never been able to go to the national tournament.
And as we should be kicking off here shortly, both teams in their huddles, I think it is clearly written on the walls. This is Atlanta United's game to win at the moment. They control the tempo away from home. They have 11 men on the pitch versus the 10 of Dalton. But if there is ever a team and if there is ever a location that you could hope for the comeback of dreams here, I think Dalton United at Dalton Stadium in Dalton, Georgia is exactly how you would write it. They've got a great crowd here. If they find anything, you know they're going to be getting cheered on. And like we said, a lot of substitutes available on the bench means that you can bring in really fresh legs to try to outrun those exhausted Atlanta United defenders later on in the match. Little bit confused as it looks like we're about to kick off, and the band is still literally on the pitch at the moment. I'll leave that one over to our officiating crew to figure out what the call is there. Is that an offside? Is that too many men on the pitch? You know, what color card do you show to the band? Do you send them off with that might be what he does. Maybe we come out here, we show some red cards to the band, get them off the pitch, and then we can start the game. The linesman is obviously very confused as to what to do as well.
There's a little bit of humor there. They're having fun. It's time to go.
They're just staring at them. Nobody knows what to do. Oh, this is beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to non-pro soccer here in North America. Speaking of which, non-pro soccer.
Welcome to just a festival that is Dalton, Georgia. We've loved everything that it's been this regular season here in the spring. Here we go. Got to get underway.
Surprised there was no red card caution, red card shown to the band there, but.
Well, I mean, in those cases, you would go to Dalton itself. So, hey, it's no big deal. We're having fun.
Alrighty, well, with the festivities out of the way, it's 45 minutes of work left here for Dalton United if they want to have any hope of making it to the National Championship round of 32 in their inaugural season here in the UPSL Premier Division. They've got a lot to do. Atlanta United, they hold all the cards, but sometimes a 1-0 lead is one of the hardest to hold because all it takes is one slip up. They say 2-0 is a dangerous lead. I'd say 1-0 is just about there, too.
And like you're saying, the winner of this match goes on to the national tournament. Right now, playing St. Louis City Academy and Beeman United. It's 2-2 going to overtime.
Yeah, obviously craziness happening all over the UPSL. Curious to see the styles clash in that national bracket. You mentioned this before. Ball over the top played. A little bit of a lazy drop back. Barnett going to be receiving the header from his defensive line. We have switched sides of the pitch. That does mean Atlanta United in the black and red kits. They're going from left to right across your screen. Dalton United, the home side, going from right to left. Atlanta United, they are a possession style. They do like to play around the opponents. And when you're a man down, when you are a man up, rather, it's much easier to find that extra space. So expect them to be basically daring Dalton United to say, hey, come press us. We'll find that ball over the top.
We're going to end up seeing pockets of space in this midfield as we see this press from Dalton United. We'll see if Atlanta United can exploit it.
Yeah, they'll do what they can here. Playing out of the back still. Sandoval, the only member of Atlanta United currently with a yellow card. If there was ever going to be the equalizing red, that'd be it. Smith through the center. Finds his way around the defender. Great defensive effort there from the man, the myth, the legend, Villatoro. But it's only cleared as far as midfield for Atlanta United begin the attack again down that left side. Making some movement. Pulling it back to the top of the box. Opportunity for a shot. Goes down, I would almost say a little bit easily, and the referee agrees. That was McLean who went down in the box, or just outside the box. Dalton will receive the free kick.
Yeah, we'll take a quick look at that replay, and you can see the Atlanta United player actually, as he falls, he does looks like a little bit of a handball as he falls. So
yeah,
call for center.
It's one of those professional things you do when you feel a touch in the back, you go down. You know, it maybe isn't the most righteous way to play the game ever, but it's the reality of how the game's played. So good once again on the officiating crew to call that out. Ball stolen away. Atlanta United's midfield's much more prolific than it was in the first half. Obviously, being up a man does tend to help some things. Jenkins dropping in and getting really involved here in this defense.
And Jenkins, with that body, he can just hold the play up.
Yeah, he's got some muscle on him. He is able to play a physical game like anyone else. Ball played down this left side. Dalton potentially finding its way through. Perez on the left wing. Has an overlap from Atenda. Played down that right side. Down outside of the box. Referee.
The foul there by number 82 of Atlanta United.
Yeah, that is McLean, the midfielder.
Let's see if we can take a look at that replay, see if we can see when that foul happened. You can see right here, 19 trying to make his way around.
Yeah.
And he just kind of jumps
challenge
into the play.
Yeah, and Dalton are going to be happy with that. That's a ball in a dangerous position. And even how Dalton got their first goal tonight, it was off a set piece. They went for the long throw instead of a free kick here. But this actually is a pretty similar location to where Dalton found their equalizer in the first game these two played, with exactly the score line. A little bit later in the night, but options available for them. Standing over it, they've got multiple members. Sanchez likely going to be taking the shot. Hitunda, Vale as well, goes over the bar. Not going to find its way through, and And Atlanta United survived that attack.
And Steven, I'm just getting word that whoever does win this match, they will have to travel to the winner of Beeman United versus St. Louis City in the national tournament.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic conversation I've been waiting to get into here. We've been talking all season long about how the winner gets to move on to that national championship bracket, round of 32 action just around the corner. And it'll be a really interesting opportunity to see how these regional styles, these regional strategies, these regional metas have developed and really test them off against each other. Atlanta playing very far down the left side. Trips up Smith a little bit. Good defending there out of the back.
Yeah, because when we come into the National 32, the Georgia squad always takes on the Kentucky-Tennessee squad.
Yeah, so keeping it local, eventually moving on to the round of 8, which is like kind of the southern finals there before we're heading into the Final Four, which should all be in one central location. A bit of a March Madness kind of vibe to that. Get through your regional brackets before you hit the big one.
The bracket was just released, so we'll have to take a look at it. We'll be making some predictions of our own.
Yeah, we'll definitely have that coverage. Speaking of which, if you want to keep up to date with all of Atlanta Soccer Media Group's coverage of that event, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that bell notification icon so you can be notified whenever there's a match, whenever there's a conversation. We like to talk a lot here, especially about soccer, so I'm sure you'll be seeing quite a bit of content of that coming up soon. Dalton United, they win the throw-in there. Far side, right inside, right next to Atlanta United coach Ricky Davey.
And that Kentucky-Tennessee side has been a powerhouse for Beeman United, now going to be called Tennessee Tempo FC.
Yeah, interesting change of names there. But obviously some play here has to be decided first. A lot of room there on the left side. Dalton trying to switch the field, but they're really feeling their shorthandedness. Good dribbling around the center. Referee, good dexterity there to get out of the way. Now driving down this left side, there's Sanchez. Going to lay it off to the inside. Potential long shot available. Guerrero plays it outside. Here's Hitunda once again. Hitunda, ball to that back post. Nobody there. Barnett clearly and cleanly able to pick that one out of the far corner.
Barnett needs to remember that 6-second timer in his head. Don't need to make that mistake again.
Oh, after the last matchup, I would be shocked if he does not immediately play the ball out. For those of you, ladies and gentlemen, who did not catch the last time these two teams played, it was a foul indirect kick. Atlanta United's goalkeeper Barnett holding on to the ball too long in stoppage time that ended up giving Dalton the winning set piece, or the tying set piece. So I think if there was ever a lesson or a time to learn, how to avoid.
And as you know, as a keeper, that's the one when you feel the smallest in the world.
Yeah, well, Barnett's done a good job tonight, so we'll be hoping to keep that sheet. Options available at the back post, but Howard, very wisely, just going to keep this short. Switches the play over to 41 on that far side. Laying it off into the midfield. Smith on the ball. Smith fighting through multiple members of Dalton. Sandoval now.
Like I said, Atlanta United is going to get a lot of time in this midfield.
Yeah, Howard back to Sandoval. Yeah, because all those members on the back line, speaking of which, multiple members come forward. Oh, that was such a dangerous opportunity, because what you saw there was you saw Villalobos and Villatoro. They were both charging the midfield at the same time, but they were both defending the same guy. So all of a sudden, Smith into space, and Smith has got to be the player of the match so far from Atlanta United, responsible for the first goal, converted the PK, and assisted that second goal over to Jenkins. Is certainly the villain of Dalton, Georgia currently. I'd say the town's most wanted individual. Atlanta United calmly. And this is just such a different tempo, speaking of the tempo, that since we saw in the first half. Dalton have dropped back. They're playing a low block here. They realize that it's a bit too risky to go for the high press just yet with the man disadvantage.
Yeah, Jose Mourinho would be so proud right now.
He might be a little bit less than thrilled that you lost a member, but in technique, I'd say you're probably right. Ball played back across, collected by that low block, sent flying. Howard looked for the back post. Interesting ball through. Doesn't quite find Smith, who's in a bit more of a Shooters, defensive position. Ball touched back in. Smith not quite going to be able to get back to it. Villatoro plays that up the pitch. Jenkins is on the hunt. He's really been playing a bit more of a false 9 here tonight. Really giving room for Wilson and Smith to play off each other up top. And Jenkins is kind of that unseen threat under the surface.
We said in pregame, Jenkins really didn't have a whole lot of opportunities the last match against Kalanji. He has definitely stepped up, already put one in the back of the net.
Yeah, Perez on the ball, plays it over to Guerrero. Once again, Guerrero hasn't seen too much of the ball here tonight, despite being the Golden Boot winner. Kiko, coach for Dalton United, had quite a few positive words to say about the young player who's really been stepping up his game. We'll have to see whether he can be the special kind of player to help out Dalton late on in this match. Dribbling inside, laying that off. Movement from Dalton, trying to find space in behind. Atlanta United staying tight. Jimming around the top of the box. Perez once again. Perez almost dispossessed. Uses it actually to get around a few people. One-on-one. Has a shot on goal potentially. Lays it off far side. Villatoro. Villatoro rips one. Oh, it's just outside. What a move that would have been. Perez to Villatoro. What a opportunity. Thankfully for the home crowd, and you could hear the air leave the stadium collectively. There is still a decent amount of time left in the match, 35 minutes to be precise, but very encouraging from Dalton. Still a man down, able to find those one-on-one dribbling opportunities that offset the man disadvantage.
Great movement for Dalton United, catching Atlanta United a little bit off guard over on that far side. Got a shot taken just a little bit wide.
Yeah, and Atlanta United are definitely going to feel that scare. And this is what makes Dalton a little special. They are okay. They're fine with playing that slow through the opposition's defense kind of play. And when you're down a man, you need somebody to do something special. You need somebody to go ahead and make that move to lose their man marker, shift around the defense, and open up space. And thankfully, Dalton has quite a few of those players. For this one, it was Perez. For Atlanta United, Smith certainly looking like that. Villatoro just absolutely dispossesses Smith. Villatoro just driving down the pitch right now. Bit of a shove in the back. Will receive the free kick. Villatoro, what a player tonight. Has had a fantastic defensive contribution, has had some forward runs. Been looking great here tonight. Dalton finds some room here on the left side. Tunda. Early substitution in the game. Sanchez laying it off. Or that's Perez, rather. Handing it off to Saldana. Saldana rips a shot, but he's gonna want that one back.
Yeah, right now, Dalton United needs to use this crowd to be their 11th man on the pitch to get them through, because right now, Atlanta United just has everything going their way.
Yeah, and I think that, this may be the strategy I had from Ricky Davey. He understands what, the match looks like right now. Sure, he does have the man advantage on the pitch, but off the pitch, there are a lot of reinforcements. And given that an unlucky goal the other way could mean another 30 minutes of play here, he's trying to conserve the energy of his players, get them ready for anything. Because what Dalton United are going to be hoping for is they want those extra 30 minutes. They want Atlanta to be run into the ground. So pretty smart conservative play coming out here from Ricky. Drive some time off the clock. Don't make players, run a track meet at this point. Ball played, finds Wilson. Lays it off Howard here. Back inside. Still a good job from Dalton of preventing the 1-2 play between the between the fullbacks and the wingers. Have kept them pretty quiet here tonight. Try and drive down that far side. Good stop there coming out from Sanchez on that far side. Will force a throw in. McLean plays it back. McLean not able to get the ball. Dispossessed. Clean. Over to Jenkins. Jenkins, he lines up for it. He cocks the foot back, but unfortunately for him, dispossessed, and Dalton very competently handling that defense. Ball coming through. Mendez rushes off his line to pick that one up.
That first touch of Jenkins let him down.
Yeah. I mean, you have a lot of different types of strikers. Some of them are like the If you give me the ball, I will take the lightest feather baby touch in the world, and I will rip it. Jenkins, a bit more of that physical player, got a lot of hold-up play. Unfortunately, would like to have that chance back. I'd be shocked if that's the last chance he has on the night. Wilson, great run inside. Jenkins, looks like Wilson and Jenkins ran into each other a little bit, but Jenkins absolutely bodies the man off the ball. Great defense coming out, and I think Sanchez actually just won that ball back. Yeah, that's Dalton with the throw-in. Jenkins tries to get physical on that far side, but Dalton are hanging in this match. Ball played back once again. Villatoro takes a touch, mishandled, played out by Smith. Gonna take a second as Sanchez is down on the play. He's limping a little bit. We'll have to see whether or not this is a problem that can be solved on the bench here from Dalton. Looks like it might just be player running onto the pitch. 17 coming into the game. That is Saldana. He should be replacing Sanchez, so 61st minute of the game, Saldana, number 17. Listen, center back comes this one. Shot on goal. Mendez able to keep that one out of the back of the net, and that would have been an absolute blitz of a goal coming out from Atlanta. Almost catches Dalton sleeping. Ball down that left side. Sanchez not quite able to get on the back end of that one. Just want to confirm that was Sanchez, number 6, who found his way off the pitch. I believe that's the case. No.
It's going to be a substitute for double sub for Atlanta United. You see they're pulling off Smith. But remember, was Smith on a card?
No.
No, he wasn't. And
36. And Sandoval. So Sandoval was on a card. That makes sense.
But Smith was the one that had the red card last game.
Yes.
So maybe a good idea to pull him off.
But Smith has been one of the better
players.
But
he's been one of the better players. He did score the first PK.
And he basically created the second.
Yeah.
Interesting subs coming out from Ricky Davey, but he knows that he's got to get some fresh legs in here. Speaking of which, blitzing towards ball. Here's McLean. Into the midfield, laying that off. Villatoro. Options down that far side. Ball in over the top. Not going to find its way through. Sanchez was looking for that one. Lane United in the build-up. Playing down this left side. Ooh, unable to work their way through. It looks like Alvarez, number 25, is checked into the game, as well as number 29. Good possession here from Dalton. Dispossessed ball launched into the air. Controlled by Sandoval. Or Saldana, rather. Shot ripped. Handled by Barnett, who goes for the parry and is doing all he can to burn this clock. Katunda was a very nice shot. Did have a lot of movement on it, though.
Yeah. Right now, Barnett having a goalkeeper practice right now, just save after save.
Yeah. Dispossessed there. Actually, a poor possession here from Atlanta United on the near side. Dalton, another chance to start an attack. Driving inside. Opportunity available. Man on the ground in the box. Very dangerous from Atlanta. Jenkins now over the top. Here comes Mendez. Mendez, poor effort. Mendez, why are you still there? Mendez gets a bit of contact from Jenkins on the way out. Asks for a foul as he's run into by Jenkins the other way. He gets up. He runs after the ball, which is a little confusing, but
yeah, we have to take a look at this again because I don't know what he was thinking here. You see this ball sent forward.
It's a good charge initially.
And then he comes out, clears it out, climbs into Jenkins, But why he went after it, I have no idea.
You know what? At the end of the day, excitement is a crazy drug. Number 29 on the ball. Options, plays it to Jenkins. Jenkins takes a touch, but it's too heavy once again. Offsides is the call. Looks like Jenkins wasn't able to get his footing right. That was Wharton, substitute coming into the game in the 61st minute, who finds that through ball. He's slotting into the midfield. That means Alvarez, very familiar with playing on that left-handed side. Typically was the left back in the last time we saw him. Now is slotting in potentially as that left winger. So Atlanta United, they have used basically all their substitutes available. They find Jenkins through once again. Mendez to ground. Mendez with absolute domination of his box. That's what you like to see out of a goalkeeper. That goalkeeping box, that is your real estate. You do not let anyone in it for free. Good dispossession. Dalton plays that through, driving down that left side. Here comes Sanchez. Sanchez is far of the box, plays it back. Oh, it's cleared away. The follow-up run just wasn't there. Dribbled out of bounds from Atlanta United. Ball played in almost immediately. Hutunda plays it across the box. Good pickup from the defenders. Dalton there in a sustained period of attack. Ball played across, defender on him. Bit of a kick in the foot, so that's going to be a free kick. Dangerous position on about the American football 20-yard line. So is a decent ways away from the goal. We'll go ahead and check the replay on that one.
Yeah, we'll take a look at this foul here by Atlanta United. You see Dalton on the attack right now, and you can see there just a bit of a cynical stab at that, and it's going to go for a great opportunity for Dalton United.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of that lazy tackle that comes just a half second too late, catches the man. That's going to be a very easy call for our officiating crew, who, once again, have really been killing it tonight. Substitution comes in. We'll see how this goes. Likely an attacking-minded substitution, as Dalton United are chasing this game. Yes, for those of you joining late, Dalton are currently down a man, so we're on a red card. Multiple members standing over this. We see Saldana. Shot taken. Pushed on to the American crossbar. That's going to be a corner kick. That's the rule here whenever we play on a high school pitch, ladies and gentlemen. The American crossbar is out of play, so that push onto the bar will mean a corner kick. Hutunda, really well taken. Almost, it looks like, catches Barnett in a little bit of no man's land. But what did we say early on, ladies and gentlemen? When you're down a man or when you're the underdogs, set pieces, set pieces, set pieces. Outswinger comes in. Good header out of the box. Maintained by Dalton. An absolute blitz coming out of the backfield. Good challenge. Well, okay, less good challenge via Toro.
We'll first start with the first chance on that free kick. And you can see here, got enough of a distance to get that ball up and down over the wall. And Barnett with a great able to just put his hand over it and get it over onto the bar.
That is a diabolical dip of the ball right at the end. You could see Barnett immediately realizing, oh, shoot, I got to go save this. Taps it on to the American crossbar. Much better than the alternative, where you'd rather hit it onto the American crossbar, it goes out, instead of hitting it onto your own crossbar, bounces back, shot opportunity. That ball is sent, and looks like a few zip codes over. Dalton United with the ball in deep. For those of you guys just joining us, Dalton United, they are currently down a man. That happened off of a double yellow card coming out from Saldana, number 23, the left-sided center back. Had a bit of a silly foul the first time, but then a two-footed effort from behind sees him earning the second yellow card, putting Dalton United down a man. Dalton, got to remember, Lane United are very happy to waste the clock here. Speaking of clock, just about 70 minutes into the game, 20 minutes left in regulation. Man down from Dalton United. Once again, substitutes at the ready for the home squad, so they have the fresh legs if they need it, but they don't want to be missing out on even a second in this matchup because they are still behind.
Anthony Saldana not liking that foul that he received. Definitely
Certainly
having
not.
a word with the AR on that side.
Yeah, but it's going to be really important for Dalton to keep their wits about them. Another silly foul easily kills the game off for them. They're looking good. They're looking like they could realistically steal a goal here and put us through into extra time. But the worst way that you could sabotage that would be, another red card or giving up an easy free kick that leads to a penalty. So you need the passion, but you also need the calm and composure on the ball. Ball played down to that left side. Villatoro, good defending, catches the winger. Ball still played. Called in favor for Dalton. Atlanta have taken a very pragmatic, straightforward approach. Rather, it's going to be a throw-in for Dalton. And we start the circle of life once again. We are also on substitute watch. I know we had another substitute from Dalton. We'll have to see who is new into the game. Good drive to the midfield. This is what Dalton does so well. They just control the midfield with their players. Lays it off. Here's Sanchez. Sanchez driving down the left side. Fancy footwork. Can't quite find his way around Howard, but will find his way to another set piece opportunity. Really good drive there from number 8 on the side of Dalton. That's Perez, who just controls that ball all the way in. Outswinging opportunity. Played across, low-driven ball. Cleared off the line. There's the touch. Atlanta able to clear that ball out, and now it's a race the other way. Here comes the reinforcements. Good turn on the ball coming from Perez. Perez controlling the midfield once again. Options available on his left side. That's Saldana, number 17, late substitution coming into the game. To Sanchez. Sanchez plays it out wide. Options available, crashing the box, calling for it at the near post. Dalton going to exercise restraint, however. 72nd minute of the game. Played down the left side. Here's Dalton once again. Sanchez, good ball across. Tries to find somebody, but Atlanta United, they have some ace pilots in the air back there. They're able to control the airspace above the box. And a foul will give Atlanta control of possession here.
Take a look at that replay one more time. You can see here, Dalton United continuing to attack on this left-hand side. Ball gets pushed out forward from the defense and just kind of muscled down. Atlanta United ended up earning the kick.
I mean, it's definitely starting to sense of a little bit of desperation. Dalton are best when they can play the ball on the ground through the box. Now, down a man, that is easier said than done, but important to note here is that I think that back line for Atlanta United are much more physical. They're a little bit taller than the attackers out from Dalton United. Makes those crosses, those high crosses into the box very hard to pull off. But, I mean, when you're down a man, you really just got to take everything. You got to try whatever you possibly can. Barnett going to be controlling this ball, plays it off.
Yeah, I'd say my only critique for Dalton United right now is they shouldn't be trying to move down the left-hand side. Howard, too good of a defender to get by.
Yeah.
They need to be exploiting number 41 over on the left-hand side like they were doing earlier in this match.
Yeah, ball played in. Good control. Here's Wilson. Villatoro wins the ball cleanly, says the referee. On that other side, Wilson certainly taking a bit of a beating here tonight.
And I said left-hand side twice. I meant right-hand side for 41.
Well, if it works, it works. They want to get the ball to the other team's goal. That's really that's kind of the idea we're getting towards here. Yeah. But Dalton controlling the ball through the midfield, laying it off. Here comes Saldana. Saldana down the left side finds Sanchez. Sanchez laying it off. Heavy touch. Sliding tackle from Jenkins. Will win possession of the ball once again. That's number 19 down on the play. Perez. That ball, I don't think Jenkins touched him. I don't know why he's down, but he's been playing all night tonight, so eventually will be played out by Atlanta United. Maybe came down a little bit awkward on that play. He has been playing the whole night, so Atlanta United member going to come to help him out a little bit. Looks like it's a bit of a muscle.
And Jenkins must have listened to the pregame show because we said he needed to put in a shift today, and he has.
Yeah, he certainly has, and you know it's going to come down to how can they finish, but so far, Jenkins has especially on defense. He's had a decent build-up in the midfield to attacking play, but I've been more impressed by what he offers the team defensively. He's a number 9 that can really drop back and be the one to lead an attack in that midfield. And especially as Dalton is very comfortable with players with balls at their feet in the midfield, being able to drop your number 9 like that into a highly contested zone, especially dropping a very physically sound number 9 into that hole, it is definitely putting up a few roadblocks that Dalton are struggling to break through. And as we address this injury, ladies and gentlemen, referee decides that it's a good time to go for a bit of a quick hydration break. Still a hot and balmy Georgia summer day out here. Sun is still high in the sky on this one, as those summer days just keep getting longer and longer. So will be a few potential added minutes into the half to account for this, but I mean, what we've seen so far, Dalton have definitely looked like the better team this half. But this is these are two teams with two very different goals right now.
Yeah, right now, like you said, Ricky Davey, all he wants to do is just get through the next 15 minutes so that he can lift the trophy and then they can move on to the national tournament. Dalton United, they are basically in desperation mode.
Yeah.
They need that goal.
Yeah, they certainly do, and it's really interesting to see that this is basically the similar situation to the last match we played here. Exactly the same scoreline, if I could mention it myself. Only difference being the red card this time is on Dalton instead of Atlanta United Academy. And smart substitutions from Ricky Davey has already got the only yellow card from Atlanta off the pitch. So there's nobody on the pitch. I mean, you mentioned Smith. He got the red card last time. He's not on the pitch. He is on a goal plus an assist, so he's had a night tonight. I think Ricky Davey will be regretting that if it does go to extra time. But if it doesn't, I think it's a very well change. It's always kind of funny. It's very easy to – it really depends on the outcome. If you win, it's much easier to say this guy's a genius. And if you lose, it's like, oh, that was silly. So we will have to see how it plays out.
But again, also remember, Atlanta United, they're pretty much done with their subs.
Yeah.
So Dalton, if they've got anything left, they've got to throw it at it.
Yeah, I believe they still have Higham in reserves, number 39. He typically plays up top. Availability, substitution will be called for, number 19. That is Perez coming out of the game late here in the 76th minute of play. So another face up top. Rodriguez, Herrera, or Medina. We'll have to see the back of his jersey. 21, I believe, so that's Hernandez checking into the game. Oh, 22, Medina. That would make more sense. Medina is a striker. They lost a striker. Yep, 22. As our local officiating crew and our local announcing crew for the Spanish commentary does seem to concur with us. Dalton United, there's the man, the myth, the legend, Medina, checking in late into this game. Could he be the super sub that Dalton United need? Good play, finds its way to Medina, back heel pass, has options out wide, plays it high and up across the box. 41 able to take that very calmly in the air. We've definitely had a few criticisms for the fullback, but definitely not on that play. Well worked. Dalton not only aren't able to get through, but Atlanta United, they maintain possession.
41 definitely having a better second 45 than the first 45.
Yeah.
He was, at times in that first 45, he was all 6s and 7s.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still an area you can attack as Dalton United, but they need to attack everywhere. I mean, they need to attack everything. They need to defend everything. They just need a goal. And this is potentially the trickiest situation you can possibly find to get a goal. Great header one there from Dalton, unable to maintain possession. Medina pushed up a little bit further, but here comes that high press. Dalton, that's a very silly foul. That's not a foul whatsoever. Bit of an elbow to the back, it looked like, from our angle, up against Howard.
Like I said, Howard is one of the core of that defensive line for Atlanta United. They don't need him out.
Injured, yeah.
Yeah, injured in any way.
Yeah, I think a bit of a missed call, but, I mean, you play long enough, you ref long enough, you're going to have a few. So I don't think it's anything game-changing there. And, yeah, you can see Atlanta United having a few harsh words. They need to be careful, though, because they are currently in the driver's seat. They don't need anything silly, throwing a wrench in the works. Ball played short here. Finds Saldana. Saldana going back up on that left flank. Perez played into the midfield. Silly giveaway. Unable to find other Saldana there in the midfield. Playing wide. There's number 25. There's Alvarez. Checked in on that left side. Jenkins is offsides. Unable to find anything there. Quickly restarted. Medina playing that ball up. Jenkins galloping back into the play. He might be a danger if nobody sees him in the midfield.
Great offensive line trap there, or great, defensive trap there.
Yeah, offsides line working fantastically. Ball played across into the box, takes the deflection the way through, but is just lofted to that back post. Itunda played back up top. Number 3, shot ripped. Oh my God, what a golazo! Just at the death of the game when they needed it the most. Sanchez with the goal of the season. Oh, we need to watch that again. He had no right. He had no claim. That should not have happened, but he disagrees. What a shot. Just has so much room at the top of the box. It's perfectly placed, and there is no way that you keep that out. Barnett's had a night, but take a bow, Sanchez.
Barnett has done everything right for 80 minutes, and just Sanchez with an unbelievable shot has made this match 2-2.
Okay, everyone, this is amazing. Take a breath. Let's consider the situation. There's still 10 minutes left to go. Atlanta United, Dalton, level on goals. We're 11 men on Atlanta United, 10 on Dalton United. If there is no winner in regulation, we will go to extra time, 2 15-minute halves, and we are 10 minutes away from that whistle. But still, remember, Atlanta United have the advantage of members on the pitch. They may start to regret taking Smith off now. I mentioned, if they win the game, it's a genius play, but Smith, who still wasn't on a card, who is the main offensive playmaker for Atlanta United.
Center ref having a discussion with Dalton's bench because they got so exuberant from that goal.
Yeah, and this can now be what, because keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, there's still 10 minutes left to go. There may be another goal in here. Whether it's for Atlanta United or Dalton, your guess is as good as mine. Dalton have obviously controlled the game in the second half. Atlanta certainly have felt like they're chasing. So keep in mind, Dalton could be, if they give up a goal, that's them done. Dalton, though, if they could find another miracle like that, they don't even need to go to extra time. Ball drop from Mendez. Jenkins recognizes, but Mendez sends this back over the top. Recovered from Schroeder. Ball played through, finds Wilson the far side. He's got space, turns it back to the inside, but takes it too heavy of a touch. Deflected, a little bit sketchy on the defense there as a bit of a bear hug came out, but thankfully able to hold that back far enough. That's a foul. Referee just going to call that one on the play. No cards going to be shown. Once again, Atlanta United, nobody on the pitch currently is on a card.
And say, Steven, can you remind me which team is down a man? Because right now it looks like Atlanta United.
I don't blame you. Technically Dalton, but you could have fooled me. I mean, all but the most astute of our viewers probably wouldn't have noticed if they just picked up, because we can barely notice. Medina gets that ball up top. A lot of room here on the front line. Great recovery run coming from Atlanta United. That's a foul. Just stands up the recovery run. I believe that's Wilson here, who once again has been having a good game, but gosh, did he just take a shot there. Actually, I do want to correct that. That looks like Wharton, who is one of the second half subs. He's subbing in for Smith, who has come off that right wing. Atlanta United playing a bit more of a fluid formation now. The wingers are dropping in deep. The fullbacks are pressing up. Here's Howard on the overlap, fed by Wharton. And you can definitely see a bit of a fire lit under the seats of Atlanta United. As you mentioned, they've never gone this deep in the playoffs before, despite being the season favorites. Taken down there. Medina earns Dalton a free kick from about the halfway line.
Bit cynical.
A little cynical, but I mean, it's going to happen to both sides. Ball played down that left side, not going to be able to catch back up to it. Hatanda not able to receive that in. Oh, funnily enough, it looks like Barnett's moving a little bit quicker now. I think he realizes that going to extra time definitely does not suit Atlanta United here. Dalton Stadium and Miracles. Can you name a better combination? But the comeback is not yet complete. And it won't be complete unless Dalton can turn this draw into a win either here in extra time or in PKs. Atlanta United still with a good header coming out from Villatoro. That could have been dangerous, but that was a great, well-considered play. Gets enough power on it, plays it to Mendez. Mendez lays it off short. Jenkins, he's going to have a lot of work to do here tonight. Dispossesses the ball. Referee calls that one for Dalton.
All
Ricky
hands on
Davey
deck
is less than
defense.
impressed.
All hands on deck defending for Dalton United.
Yeah. I mean, this is more than Atlanta United wanting to win right now. This is a point of pride for them. They felt like they were robbed. Yellow card caution awarded to Jenkins, I believe. He's been pretty physical, so that could be an issue. More cautions here.
Bit of a disagreement there with the center ref.
You need to shut up.
Other Atlanta United players trying to get him to calm down.
Yeah, I mean, right now, especially when you're playing for a club like Atlanta United Academy, your job is to develop into a professional player. And the biggest thing about being professional is it's your mindset. You do not need a silly foul. So wait, was that a card for dissent a bit further back? So okay, so I correct you, ladies and gentlemen, that is not a card for Wilson. That is a card for somebody else, or Jenkins. High boot. Outside of the foot, opportunity from Sanchez. Still available. Pulled back to the top of the box. Oh, it's deflected away. Atlanta United now, they may be on the breakaway. Going back the other way. Ball played over top. Jenkins heads it forward. Mendez out of the box, sends it forward. Dalton getting behind their team. As once again, it's not 11v11. Well, it's not even 10v11. It is the city of Dalton versus Atlanta United here tonight.
Dalton United using all of the strength from this crowd to root them on.
Yeah.
Being a man down, trying to get in this match, seeing themselves lifting a trophy. Can they do it?
It would be a wild ride. I mean, Dalton just eked out the regular season title on the last day by a point over Atlanta United. Atlanta United, they felt robbed last time they were here. They were confused why the penalty got called, and they lost the game in the dying seconds after putting up a fantastic performance. They came back here with something to prove, not only to the team, not only to the league, but to themselves, that they are the powerhouse here. They are descendants of the kings of the South. They have a lot to live up to, but right now, Dalton are taking it to them. 3 minutes left to go here in regulation. Villatoro launches that ball into the Atlanta attacker, but looks like it's going to be a foul. Free kick awarded to Atlanta United. 87 minutes played, 3 minutes left to go, plus my best guess is probably about 5 minutes of stoppage time.
We'll take a look at that foul. You can see here, trying to make his way through and just gets trucked down just outside of the box. If I can see, yeah, we look about, what is that, 25 yards?
Yeah. It's honestly too far away for a shot on goal. You'd be looking for a free kick to maybe find the head of Jenkins, who really is the powerhouse here. Maybe somebody on a back post. Mendez has to take this calmly. Ball played into the area. Bouncing around the box. Shot taken. Oh, it hits the post and it deflects. Atlanta United, they're still in an aggressive position. Ball played McLean across the box. Finds a head. Mendez looking for it. Drops. Able to hold on to it. And Dalton United, it almost felt like the crowd willed that ball onto the post. Deflects to the outside. And Dalton United escape a dangerous set piece opportunity there. And now, 88 minutes played. 2 minutes left in regulation. Dalton, do they press for the winner, or do they hope to go into extra time with the better legs. Ball played, can't quite clear the midfield, but may drop here for the midfield. Still possessed, dispossessed actually, Atlanta United. They take the ball away from Perez. Now they're driving the other way. Jenkins not able to get onto the ball, but only plays it back to the defensive line. Howard from that right back position. He's on the ball. Minute ticking away. Ball played down that left wing. Goes toe-to-toe. Villatoro, once again, the hero of Dalton, stands firm in the backfield. Every white and red jersey behind the ball right now. They're just trying to absorb whatever Atlanta United can throw at them. Options at that back post, potentially playing it across. Poor play. I mean, still maintained there by 41, but had to run for it. That's number 37, Ramos, dropping in deep to grab that ball. Joined by Wharton. Ball bouncing across the box, Mendez. Looks like this will actually give us a little bit of insight into what Dalton want to do. They want to kill the half. They want to bring it to extra time. They feel like they have the legs and they have the fitness. 3 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, is the stoppage time added on. Feels a little short, but I don't think Dalton are going to care about that. Dispossessed. Great pickup there in the midfield. Perez on the ball. Holds it up. Past multiple members, but here's Atlanta United in a dangerous position. Played in. Plenty of space here. Does he rip a shot? No, he plays that through. Watch Jenkins. Jenkins is free. Great defensive work there to shut down the opportunity. Villalobos able to turn that ball in behind. Jenkins felt he was through and free on goal. But here comes everyone. Everyone but the goalkeeper and everyone but Howard are up for this corner kick. This could be one of the last kicks of the game. 3 minutes left to go in stoppage time. Everyone just crowding that box currently from Atlanta United. You know exactly where they're going to drop it. And that last corner kick, that last set piece almost finds its way true. They play it back around. They want to refresh the play. Here comes the defense. Mendez, competently able to take that ball down. He's looking for the quick play. He will end up killing off a few moments. This is what Atlanta United did last time they were out here. Ends up going well for them. Ball played down this left side. Does he have anything left in the tank? He's open in through Hitunda. Outplayed. Howard able to maintain possession. Goal kick will be the call. This has got to be the last bit of gas in the tank for Atlanta United's defenders, but there's potentially 30 more minutes left to go in this game. Dalton dropping everyone back behind the ball. 2 minutes left to play. Here comes the attack once more. Atlanta United, they drive. Ramos on the ball, trying to make it through the midfield. He does so nearly single-handedly. Very, very poor defensive effort there. Villatoro, I think, lucky once again to get away with that one cleanly. Free kick taken quickly. Atlanta United, they switch to play over to the right side. Howard looking on the right. He has the overlap available. Good defensive effort there, sacrificing the knees for the team. Hitunda puts that ball around. Howard, he lays off to McLean. McLean over. We've got Ramos now. Ramos still on the ball. He may be looking for a shot. Big shot and goes way over top. Hits the net. And now, with the seconds ticking away, 60-second stand between Dalton United and extra time here, you would still be forgiven for forgetting that there is still an 11v10 advantage for Atlanta United. Mendez looks like he's going to be receiving a little bit of help here. Sanchez is just going to launch this ball. Big ball over top. Almost finds the feet. Actually finds the head of number 10, Herrera, who checked into this game late. Foul committed for Dalton. Will be Atlanta United's ball. 30 seconds left before the whistle. Atlanta United played around, potentially time for one more attack here. Howard on that right side plays it back and forth with McLean. Howard checking into the midfield. Here's Ramos on the ball. Potential man advantage on that back post. Looking for the way through. Wilson's making the run. Looking all the way back. Can't find its way to Jenkins. It's a header battle. Launch that ball. And ladies and gentlemen, we're headed to extra time. What a crazy game. The literal exact same sequence of events last time we were here, but this is the beauty of the Cup competition because somebody has to win now.
This is the drama that we were hoping for in this final match of the season for UPSL Georgia. Fantastic battle. But like you were saying, and we were both talking about in the second half, I can't tell which team is a man down because right now Dalton United is on the front foot.
Yeah, and these are the late substitutions we were talking about, and they still have more. They've got guys they can go to. Rodriguez still on the bench. Medina just came on. They got Valadares. They have 2 goalkeepers. I don't think you swap out Mendez. I think he's been doing a good job, but this is the one chance. When you look to Doctor Strange and you ask him, how do we win this? There's only one scenario, and this is it, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to extra time. 2 15-minute halves coming up very shortly to determine who will be walking away the Cup champion here of the UPSL Georgia Premier Division, as well as booking their tickets to the round of 32 in the national bracket. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss what's coming up next right here on ASMG's coverage of the UPSL Premier Division. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Dalton Stadium, Dalton, Georgia, Dalton United FC versus Atlanta United Academy. What a insane series of events that we are witnessing. If you are just tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, let me give you the lowdown. We're here in Dalton. Last time these two teams played, it was a 2-2 draw with Dalton stealing away a late goal to get a point back. Tonight, what has happened? Atlanta United get a PK in the first minute. Dalton United with another goal 3 minutes later off the long throw-in. Dalton United go down a man off of a double yellow card, red card that Saldana, number 23, the left center back, picks up in the first half. Goes into halftime. Dalton comes back. An absolute goal of the season from Sanchez, number 3, just bends it in from about the American 20-yard line to get that goal back. And even though they're down a man, Dalton have rallied back here against Atlanta United Academy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are in store for 2 periods of 15 minutes each of extra time. How this will go is we'll have the first period of 15 minutes, we'll break for a second halftime, then we'll come back. If the game is still not one way or another, if the game is still tied by the end of the second overtime period, we will go to a PK shootout, best of 5, followed by sudden death shootouts. Now, this is not a golden goal situation. The winner has to be declared at the end of the second overtime period. So, with that said, keep in mind, Dalton United, 10 members versus Atlanta United's 11, but the substitute advantage is firmly in favor for Dalton. I don't think Atlanta have anyone else left on the bench, so we'll have to see whether or not Atlanta have that little bit extra in the tank. Atlanta did look more dangerous to the 2 teams. Here comes a drive-through, almost perfectly for Wharton. Wharton, he takes a shot. Mendez called upon early on in the half for this one. And Atlanta United, you got to be imagining that Ricky Davey is just willing his team forward right now, reminding them that you guys are the Atlanta United Academy team. You guys have 11 men. You need to put this game away. We'll have to see how this goes. Villatoro in a foot race, an absolute defensive workhorse here so far. He gets the ball off of Alvarez, driving down that left side. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're restarting the clock over at 0, so 15 minutes will be the duration of the first half of overtime, another 15. So once we get to 30, we will be going to PKs. Atlanta United maintaining possession. Driving forward. Schroeder. He's driving all the way through, almost finds it through the back line, gets a bit of a return to center, but ball sent over top. But here's that low block out of Dalton. They don't have anyone far up enough to really convert one of these opportunities. They need to get the perfect interception, and then maybe they can break forward. Ball coming across. Looks all the way here for Alvarez. Finds its way there. God, we really just cannot highlight how big of a goal that was for Sanchez, number 3. And I think it's not only just how he scored the goal, but the emotion of that goal, what it meant for the team, that really hits that home as one of my points of the season. So, but once again, the job's not done. That goal brought you to extra time. It doesn't mean anything if you can't get this game over the line, and Dalton still have to be seen as the underdogs here. 10-11 still. I know there was a yellow card caution addressed to somebody. Mendez able to receive that one. Somebody on Atlanta United, either in the defensive line or the midfield, has a yellow card for dissent. There's no chance Ricky Davis.
37, Joao.
Joao. 37?
Yes,
that's
Joao Ramos.
Yep. Okay. So Ramos on the yellow card. He's still on the pitch, and once again, we really don't have subs. I think Higham rather, is still available. Ball back the other way, dispossessed. Jenkins can't quite put that ball on frame. Nice little spin move, but he's going to have to lay that ball all the way back. Howard playing that across.
Well, that explosion from the fans showed you how much that goal meant for Dalton United.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have a hard time talking tomorrow. Like, that was that exciting. Ball played back across. Medina. Not able to dispossess, but able to force enough of an overtouch. No, it's going to be a foul. Sloppily taken there by Medina. Ramos, number 37, the aforementioned yellow card recipient, is standing over the ball. You have to imagine that Ricky Davey looked into his eyes at halftime and said, "You will not get another yellow card." And it seems like Atlanta United are all calm in the game once more. Ball played to the back post. Multiple members. Mendez, he has to go up for that ball. Foul called in favor of Dalton. Mendez takes a bit of a tumble, and he's certainly been been having a rough game for sure. Rough in the sense of physically. He's had a few, he may have a bruise or two after tonight, but I think those are going to be badges of honor if he's going to be able to, if he's able to see his team through to a victory here tonight, he will wear them like, a badge of honor.
Yeah, win or lose, Mendez has put in an excellent shift tonight. He has really stepped up when needed for Dalton United.
Yeah, and I think Barnett's done a fine job as well. I don't think this has really been a game about the goalkeepers. They've done fantastically fine. Cut inside, potential room here. Medina, time to turn, lays it off. Available at the back post is Herrera. Driven down that left side, still at the feet of Howard. Howard, good ball played to limit the damage to a throw-in, but this is almost a carbon copy of the situation that saw a long throw set-piece goal. In fact, they're going to queue up for it once again. I believe that's Sanchez on the ball. He's going to queue up for an absolute bomb of a shot. Here comes the throw. In towards the box, a little bit short. Tries to find the head of Saldana. Ball played over. Huge looper in. Sedina, that's an awkward clearance. Almost called for a handball. Dalton able to regain possession. Played back to the right. Still at the feet of Dalton. Villatoro plays it down the right-hand side. Here's Herrera. Herrera in that corner. Plays it over Howard. Nobody home on that other side. Big ball played up. Can it be contained? Saldana here, able to play it back, but collected by McLean. Atlanta back in possession in the midfield. Space on this far side if they want to try to swing it, or they could try to play it through. Ramos lays it off. Ramos back on the ball. Jenkins up and available. Wilson up and available. Remember, Smith with 1 goal and 1 assist to his name was subbed off. He cannot come back on. Was the main creative outlet for Atlanta United, so Atlanta gonna have to find a different avenue for this one. Wilson was the one who earned the penalty kick, and he's still on the pitch, so options certainly available. McLean lays it off. Schroeder laying it off all the way to 41. 41 plays it back across. Deflected at the feet. Good defense coming out from Herrera. Slotted back in that right wing back position. Big throw in here coming from Atlanta United. It sails over, almost finds Jenkins, goes a little too far. Good little flick through. Schroeder plays that ball out. Good step up from him.
I really feel like if nothing happens in this first 15, the second 15 will be just hold the ball, get to PKs.
But from which team? I mean, it's going to be really interesting because I think the whole question is how much energy does Atlanta United have left? If tanks start getting empty, Dalton have the opportunity to try to outwork their opponents. But, some of these players from Dalton are going to be just as tired. They don't have 11 substitutes. They've only got, what they can legally do in the rules. So some advantage, but it's not everything. Good backtracking there from Howard. Well, he actually ends up losing the ball, gives it away. Picked up by Sanchez. Back in. Ball played back to that right back. Opportunity on the left side. That's offsides by 1.5 miles.
He was lurking on that corner, and he just floated a little too far. You could see it, seconds waiting. He was begging for that ball.
Villatoro's got to be careful on that backside because he's looking for it time and time again. Number 25, Alvarez, is looking for that long ball to his side to try to split apart the defense of Dalton, open up some room in the middle, and maybe give room for the midfielders to play through. Speaking of which, Dalton on the attack back the other way. Herrera's open at that far side. Going to keep it here at the feet. Shot, plays it across, can't quite find it. Runs into the defender. The crowd got behind that one as Perez looks to be the hero of Dalton. Going to be paying a bit of a price for that tackle. Wharton goes down, taken down by Saldana.
He second-guessed himself about 3 times, and he should have just taken the shot.
He queued up for like a few fake shots, like to try to juke out some of the defenders, give himself that little bit of space, but unfortunately that last touch just a bit too far. And playing as a dribbler in the box, it's a game of inches. Laid off now down that left side, unable to find the 17-3 connection. Saldana to Sanchez. Not quite finding their partnership there on the left side. Atlanta United, they're back in the driver's seat. 9 minutes past, 6 left to go in the first half of overtime. Here is that move. Alvarez finally with the ball in space down that left-hand side. Has 41 available to the inside. Does he look for the shot? Jukes out the defender. Villatoro able to move, calling for the offsides. Not going to find it. Dalton not that coordinated. Ball played all the way back to the defender. Here's Ramos on the ball. Atlanta still content with using their numbers advantage to really move Dalton around as they see fit. Cutting to the inside, Ramos looking for space, not going to find it. Almost tries to find the same space that Sanchez opened up for his shot. Falling to the ground, ball over the top, finds Jenkins, goes up and over. But looks like it's going to be a penalty called. Free kick for Dalton. That may be a head-to-head contact, and oh no, that's Villatoro, number 9. I think, yeah, that's his hair.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that again. Orlando United on the attack. Nice ball into the box. Jenkins jumps, collides with number 9. He's going to get called for the foul. That's a solid shot to number 9.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely you always want to protect the players, and anytime there's a head-to-head contact, you have to be careful, but also Villatoro is such a important player. It seemed more like a bad bump than anything serious, so he's going to be able to play on for now, but certainly he is the defensive workout. Speaking of which, Villatoro wins the ball back. It's still in bounds, played out, and it's going to be Dalton recovering. Wharton exchanging words on that far side.
Starting to get emotional. One of the things to note, just a few moments ago with that slide tackle, number 82 injured his hand.
Yeah, well, we'll see that. Thankfully, as a non-goalkeeper, that should be an injury he can live with, but certainly an annoying one to say the least. Blitzing down that right side. Howard just somehow has something left in the tank, tries to play a ball across, can't quite make it out to Wharton. Will be a throw-in. Howard's been in this game since the beginning. He was actually the one whose overlap with Wilson enabled Wilson to get the PK. So seeing him with that strong of a run this late in the game is certainly a sight to behold. Speaking of which, able to maintain the ball, cutting inside Wharton across the box, can't quite find it.
With that type of shift, you can see why Ricky Davey was confident only bringing 3 subs.
Yeah, I mean, he really needs all of his players to dig deep. Ball played back across, good header across. Dalton able to maintain the possession. Ball just launch it out of there as 12 minutes have just about been played here in the first half of extra time. 3 minutes left to go, plus stoppage. I don't expect more than a minute of that here. Atlanta United back on the attack. Ooh, interesting steal. Driving forward, potential space. Held up in the midfield, crowd goes wild. That's a professional foul if I've ever seen one, and that's going to fall to number 25, I believe. No. It's actually signaling.
He's going to go back to the original foul for the yellow. He was playing advantage, but then goes back to give the original
Schroeder.
Yellow.
I think Schroeder picks up that yellow card.
I believe you're correct.
And as a center back, you really don't want to see that. You can tell Atlanta, it's what we call a professional foul. When the other team's on the break and you really don't have men behind, just take the yellow card if you don't have one already. But it does remove options now. And as center backs, you typically have that bit more of a physical play style that can sometimes lend itself well to picking up cards. Cough, Sergio Ramos, cough. Ball played into the box. Oh, almost finds the head, and actually does find the head of Saldana, but deflected wide. Looks like they're going to call that was off Saldana. I think that may have taken a touch, but either way. It's going to be Atlanta United restarting the attack. 2 minutes left to go here in the first half of extra time. Holding the ball seems to be the name of the game. 41 lays that off across to Ramos. Ramos putting in a hell of a shift as a defensive midfielder. Finds the feet of 82 here all the way on the left side. McLean checks inside. Runs into multiple members. Able to find his way through. May take a shot. He rips one. Mendez unable to keep that ball down. That was a hell of a shot from the midfielder. But at the very least, it's deflected wide. Back over to Jenkins, not finding its target. Medina goes through. That's a cynical foul. That's a card going to be going out for Medina, probably for delay of game, given that he launches the ball out afterwards. I don't know if I agree with the foul, but it was silly for Medina to launch that ball afterwards, and here's the replay.
We got to watch this shot on goal. Number 82 rips it, and the keeper took his eye off the ball just a little bit, and you saw that go straight up into the air.
Yeah, Ramos standing over this one again. Once again, he's had a pretty good shift today as the holding midfielder. He's going to be looking to find somebody's head on this free kick. Ball played. It's a nice loft, looking for somebody, but still a solid defensive line here from Dalton. So I think that last play, it was Schroeder who goes to ground. I felt like he was already falling down before. We'll have to see. Looking there at the far side of the camera, it's going to be a long throw in taken. Finds its way down to the near post. It's a header flicked through. Not able to find the net, though. Dangerous opportunity. Ball played across the box. Once again, Mendez has to be careful when this one hits the American uprights, and that means that it's going to be going for a goal kick. But that whistle means we are done with the first half of extra time. Score still tied here at Dalton Stadium here in Dalton, Georgia, home of Dalton United FC. 2-2 as they stay level with Atlanta United despite being down a man. We'll be back, ladies and gentlemen, in a few moments with the conclusion to this thrilling, heart-stopping match here on ASMG. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to ASMG's coverage of the UPSL Premier Division of Georgia playoff finals. Dalton United versus Atlanta United. It's gone the distance. We are about to begin our second half of stoppage time, 15 minutes, followed by whatever stoppage time may be, followed by a PK shootout. My name is Steven Johnson. That's Larry Weaver. And what a match we've been having tonight. Before we get into that, I do want to let you all know, of course, this is potentially the first step for either of those teams into the National Playoff Championships. Round of 32 coming up just after this. And if you want to keep up to date with all of that and see all of our coverage of the national bracket, be sure to hit that like button, go ahead and subscribe, and ring that bell notification so you can stay up to date whenever the best of the UPSL come to play here on ASMG. But enough about our brand, enough about promotion. There's plenty to talk about here on the game tonight. For those of you just joining, I just cannot stress this enough. Dalton United have been playing down a man since the first half. They not only have found an equalizer sense that man down. But they continue to hold their own against Atlanta United Academy. And they are now 15 minutes away from putting us to a best-of-5 PK shootout, unless either team can find the winning goal in this period. Remember, this is not a golden goal situation. They have to be winning at the end of this second half of overtime. And once again, Atlanta United, you got to be feeling that their legs are absolutely burning. I mean, this is why they do cardio, because it's in matches like these where you need each and every one of your players with only 3 substitutions to put their full 110% the whole match. Medina tries to chase that one down, re-picked up in the midfield by Dalton, laying that across. Villatoros, man on his back, able to turn it back around. You almost get the idea that Dalton will be very content with putting this through to a PK shootout. Atlanta United, as the team with 11 members, I feel like they'd be really disappointed for this to go anywhere but a victory in extra time. Ball played across, tries to find its way through the formation to Hitunda. Not going to be finding its way.
This is the point where a big club like Atlanta United, where they have a full squad, trainers, recovery, this can get them through 15 more minutes.
Dalton United, they find the turnover in the midfield. Hitunda once again on the ball, looking for somebody to check in, but a lot of members on Dalton, they've been out there now for 100 minutes. You know, we're 105 minutes into the game at the start of this half. Hitunda trying to drive down that left side. Good defensive work in there from Howard. And he won that right back. He's been, speaking of 105 minutes, he's 105 minutes deep into this game, so good to see from him. You got to be wondering now if there are any substitutions you may be thinking about for the PK shootout. Dalton have a few strikers left on the bench. Obviously, you can't somebody one back in. It's going to be an out swinger. Here finds the back post. Jenkins gets the header. Goes to up to the air. Atlanta unable to find it. Sandoval. Perez was almost in that position that his teammate Sanchez was when he scored his goal. Jenkins plays that ball back through. Mendez blitzing out of the back. He's been phenomenal off his line here tonight.
I think if Dalton finds a way to get a ball in the back of the net, I think this stadium's about to come apart.
Oh, I think that's the space in the middle of the bingo board. I mean, I've said it before. This match is not Atlanta United versus Dalton United. This match is Atlanta United versus the city of Dalton. It feels like everyone's here. Everyone's rooting their team forward. You should have heard the lid just pop off the top of this place when Sanchez finds just the absolutely beautiful goal to equalize the game. Shot take from distance. Barnett has to scramble, but is able to keep this one out and keep Atlanta United in the game. Those midfield strikes are devastating from Dalton right now, and it will give Dalton the chance to go ahead here with the corner kick. Man down there on the far side from Dalton United. Villatoro, I believe. No, Villatoro's on the near side. Who is our unlucky friend there on the ground? That's number 3. That's Sanchez. That's the goal scorer who equalized this matchup. Substitution coming in. It looks like Sanchez coming off the pitch. He will not participate at the end of this game. Coming in is 21, Hernandez. He's listed as a holding midfielder, so potential defensive option here to bring the team through to PK shootout. And any substitution you make at this point from Kiko Rodriguez, you have to be thinking that any sub is going to be going forward through to the PK shootout. Speaking of which, we have a new member of the cast. Higham has checked into the game. Looks like in place of Jenkins. So that is the literal last substitution available. They brought 3. They've used 3 now for Atlanta United. So Jenkins not going to be participating in a potential penalty shootout.
And Jenkins put in a massive shift. He's got to be completely spent over there on the sidelines.
He's been the enforcer up top. He's the target man you need. Fortunately, was only able to get on the end of that one play. That looks like Jenkins is still on the pitch. Jenkins is still on the pitch.
Oh, yes, he is. I apologize.
Okay, so that's when the midfielder's coming off. Ball played down that side. Oh, it makes it to the line, deflected off. It's going to be touched out for a goal kick. Yeah, goal kick, it looks like that final call. All right, so that probably means someone at the top of the midfield is gone for Atlanta. We're looking at our main suspects being either McLean or Ramos. I see Ramos, so my guess is McLean has played his last minute of the game. Potentially wasn't looking forward to a PK shootout himself, so keep the striker in. That would make sense. It looks like McLean is gone. Ball played. Atlanta repossess. That's going to be Atlanta's throw-in. Herrera tries to win that ball back for Dalton, unable to find it. 20 minutes gone here in extra time. 10 minutes left to play. 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, is all that separates us from PK shootouts deciding the UPSL Georgia Premier Division Cup Championships and which team will be moving on to the national champions. Dalton, once again, first season in the league, not only took the league title, but are now looking for their inaugural berth into the national championship bracket. Atlanta United also have never been this far. They're looking for something. Good cutback on that left side, played it back into the center, queuing up for a shot, maybe not finding it just yet. 21 now. Hernandez, very recently checked into the game, laying that off to Saldana. Playing to Saldana once again. Saldana driving inside from that far left possession. Happy to cycle this ball from Dalton. Atlanta United, I don't think they really have the legs for a high press at the moment. Wharton potentially looking. Higham, been very strong on the ball. Very silly mistake coming through. That is number 35, Pama. He's been in the whole game. Nobody was really through on the goal, but at this point in the game, I think, as a defender, if you see a ball come across your box, you just put it out. 17 launching that back post. Barton goes up for the shot, runs into Villatoro. Barton able to maintain possession. Kick played in. Villatoro's down. Goalkeeper Barton is livid. Getting a bit of a stretch here. 22 minutes played. Our referee team hasn't really given us a lot of stoppage time this game, so I wouldn't expect more than a minute or two at the end here.
Yeah, we watched this throw-in that happened. Ball sent across the box. Barnett coming out. Great grab by the keeper. He wanted to go quickly to transition.
Yeah. Very well played from Barton. I mean, that was at the edge of his area, but he went up and he claimed that. That's good goalkeeping. And even though it's 2 goals the other way, they've been really nice goals back at him. Really can't say too much against him tonight. Dalton regained possession here, right side of midfield. Bit of a back heel, freeing up some options, but closed down very quickly from Atlanta United. Tries to find Medina, but Medina is not 8'5", so is unable to take that ball down. Finds its way back to number 81, Howard. Dalton once again regaining possession in that right side of defensive midfield. Driving down, number 8, Perez, who has been a bit of a maestro on the ball here tonight. Wins the battle versus Jenkins, and he opens himself up into space. Has Medina short. Plays Medina around. Medina, ball's bouncing, unable to take a clean touch. Bounce is just too far back. McLean, who we thought actually was out of the game, that's a dangerous situation. McLean leaning up against the defender. I think the referee is going to say, guys, you have 4 more minutes of the game. Please calm down.
I've been really surprised that Atlanta United has not been able to utilize being a man up for basically 90 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. Lazy pass there in the midfield. Finds its way through. Perez gets a bit of a shove. Good defensive challenge from Atlanta, able to win that ball back, potentially spring a bit of a counterattack. Higham on the ball, lays it off down the right side. Wharton goes for the step overs, drives down that right side, goes to ground. Referee's calling foul, but it's going to be going the way of Dalton with 6 minutes left to go in the extra time. Another man down, that's McLean in the midfield. Okay, McLean's still in and Ramos still in. I've got no idea who came off. Maybe 41.
Well, if we take a look at the sidelines, that is the extent of the subs that were for Atlanta United.
That is still the same amount of subs that Dalton have goalkeepers here tonight. 3. Another member down in Dalton's side. I think the goal is clearly to get to PK shootout. That's where they feel they have their best chance. Referee likely going to be telling our boys in white that, okay, come on, hurry up. We get it. You're down, but let's get up. Well, it's also important to note that, this has been a long game. Hatanda came in the 9th minute of play. He did come in for the injured Captain Fischk. Referee is calling for the trainer. I believe that means that Hatanda is likely going to have to start off the pitch. So potentially putting Dalton down 2 men for a few moments, which
it only started in the low 80s when this match began.
Yeah.
High humidity. One of the things to note, we haven't really had the high temperatures that we normally used to see here in the summers of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Texas, the Midwest, Texas, Kansas, Oklahoma, they've been far more warm, far higher temperatures than we've had so far.
Yeah, it's been a pretty forgiving season thus far. Some hot days, like you mentioned, but nothing that a hydration break really can't get you through. So certainly something is giving us some good weather. Potential more substitutions, and this has to expressly be for the purpose of PK shootouts. Dalton, they know they want this game to go all the way. They know that if they want to win, it's probably going to have to be PK shootout territory. Funnily enough, the only member of Atlanta United who have scored a PK tonight is not on the pitch. Good ball laid off to that far side. Shot ripped. It's in! Dalton United at the death of the game! They go ahead, and this stadium is sent to raptures in the 27th minute of stoppage time. Is that going to be enough, though? Dalton United could be moments away from their first ever UPSL Premier title and their first ever trip to the national championship bracket. What a golazo to bring this crowd to raptures.
Just when you think that the game is over, Dalton United pull a rabbit out of the hat. Down on this left side again, number 41 gave him just enough space. He puts it into the back of the net. 3-2.
Super
Dalton United.
Super sub Herrera. Atlanta United have moments left to respond.
And what did I say time and time again? The least productive player for Atlanta United has been number 41, and they needed to exploit him, and finally they did.
Yeah, Herrera, great touch to the inside, and it's really the confidence these players have had to take shots from distance. Atlanta has been a lot more focused with working the ball into the box, but now look at this formation for Atlanta United. It's everyone forward immediately. It's going to be up to the referee's discretion for what added time they want to bring. Number 8 coming off the pitch. That is Perez. Was our first goal scorer of the night. Standing ovation here from the home crowd.
And you can see just the heads of Atlanta United just down. The shoulders are down. They're just spent. And Dalton United doing everything that they can to suck every second out, but you know that the center ref is just going to add those seconds back.
Yeah, I think it would be highly unlikely that we see any less than 3 minutes of added time here in the second half of extra time. Substitution is going to be coming in. And look, this is like season 1 of Ted Lasso right here, with just everybody's on the center line. Get forward, get people in the box. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I would be absolutely baffled if we do not see any additional time added to this, because this is some time wasting through and through from Dalton. It's how you play the game, but Ricky Davey, what is going on? Looks like we're having some words with the coaches of Dalton. I don't know what this could be about.
Frustration from just the lack of time that it's taking here.
Well, I mean, that's the Dalton coaches. They just scored a goal.
Yeah.
Another substitution here, number 11 coming out of the game. That is Hatanda. Hatanda was a 9th minute substitution coming in for the injured Captain Fischk on the right wing back position. He's been having a good night on him. And with that, it looks like we will be getting this game underway very shortly. Atlanta United still with everybody on that center line. It's all hands on deck as we crest now into the 30th minute of stoppage time. Ball is played. Ball over the top, trying to find somebody on that far side. Here's Higham, taken down by Dalton. Atlanta United trying to find something here on that side. Dalton United absolutely. Bit of a slip there from Howard. Will end up being a free kick. Dangerous opportunity for Atlanta United as these members are sprinting forward to see if they can get this. I wouldn't be shocked if Barnett comes up at this point. Already I see the goalkeeper in blue for Atlanta United. He's at the halfway line. 37, Ramos sticking over this ball. Higham staying here on this far side. This would be a miracle for Atlanta United. They send it up. Mendez, he's going to meet it. Mendez gets the punch, but it's still there. Queuing up for the shot. It hits somebody in the midfield. Atlanta United able to put it back around. Puts it around once more. Time for the shot. Rips it. Hits another man on the way through. Here's Ramos. Now Ramos lobs his ball in. Goes for the header. Diving grab from Mendez. And that could be it. Offsides is the call. So even with that, it would not have mattered for Atlanta United. Question is, what is the stoppage time situation? I haven't seen a number on the far post, but I'd be shocked if it's not a considerable time. Just take that ball to the corner flag. You need nothing else. He's driving inside. He's looking for the shot. He's looking for the go-ahead. Doesn't find his way through the line. Atlanta United, they're driving back the other way. Extra time still available. The coach just begging his players to get back, but here could be the final gasp of Atlanta down that left side. It's taken away, out for a throw-in as the game continues. Long throw queued up here for Atlanta United Academy. Actually, this is a free kick for Atlanta United Academy. Maybe still another minute or two of stoppage time. Once again, I have not seen the board here, ladies and gentlemen. So I do not know. Free kick queued up. Ball into the box, near post. Ricochets, a lot of members on the ground. Dalton just put that ball away. Higham on the chase. Foul called, free kick for Dalton. And that's going to eat up even more time on the clock. And look at that Dalton bench. Everybody is up. They are ready to storm this pitch. They are ready to celebrate like they've never celebrated before. Barton sends the ball up again. Is there time? Jenkins under it. Tries to head it forward. He's first to the ball. Plays it out wide. Here's Higham. Higham trying to find somebody. Back to the top of the box, 82, McLean, he puts it at the far post. It's potentially a little too far. Tries for the beautiful shot, but he can't quite find it. Taken down in the box, and it's a Dalton United free kick. 3 minutes into stoppage time. We got to be getting close. I think 5 is the maximum you can expect here, but it could be any moment that the referee decides to blow this whistle. 3 minutes elapsed. We're in the 33rd minute of stoppage, 123rd minute of the game. Referee, he has the whistle in the mouth. Could this be it? One more attack available for Atlanta. Ball played over the top, but is it too far? It finds Mendez. Mendez is just going to let it run. Contact at the top of the box. Mendez is going to eat up some time with this recovery. Ball on the ground. Can't pick it back up again. Here's Jenkins. Ball played over top. It's to the far side. Atlanta United, they get the throw in. Ball boys from Dalton playing a little bit of a role for the team. Seconds tick by. 3 minutes, 40 seconds into stoppage time here. Great position here at the top of the box. Plays it through. This could be dangerous. Can he get on the ball? Rips the shot. Oh, it hits the crossbar. It hits the crossbar. That's a dangerous ball. It's going out for a corner kick. What on earth is going on here? Atlanta United with one more. Here comes Barnett. He's coming for the corner. This is it. This is the death. This is Higham. This is Atlanta United versus Dalton. And this may be over. Wharton plays it across. Barnett, time on the ball. He's just going to launch this one forward as well. Finds a sea of black jerseys. Heads it on. It's Mendez in the back. "44 minutes, 35 seconds in. Ball is played forward. It's still not time. 13 takes a deflection. That's Rodriguez. He subbed in during that last set. Rodriguez threw on goal. Man in the midfield, Medina. He's alone, unable to maintain possession. Now here comes the chase the other way. Atlanta United, the game is firmly afoot. Finds Jenkins. Good ball through, but I don't think he gets there in time. Mendez, he's got the ball. He's got control. Referee, he checks his watch. The whistle is in the mouth, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's the stuff of dreams here in Dalton. Dalton, Georgia has been sent into raptures as Dalton United, a man down, slay the beasts of Atlanta United. They win the League Cup, they win the championship finals, and they are going through to the round of 32. Georgia, this is your team. Dalton United are going to nationals.
60 seconds into this match, it was all Atlanta United. Going in 40 minutes into the match, Dalton United go a man down. It's all Atlanta United, and the last 60 plus minutes of this match was all Dalton United. They showed what it takes to go on to the national tournament. Yet again, another season where Atlanta United just didn't have enough.
I don't mean to toot my own horn too much, but I do believe I said before the game, it's going to extra time, 3-2 Dalton. I didn't think there's going to be a red card, but this is what it takes to win a title. This is what it wins to win a cup final. It takes heart. It takes that extra bit of something special. I think it was a joint effort between the players you see on the pitch and the fans in the stand. This wasn't a Dalton United win. This was a Dalton, Georgia win over Atlanta United right now, and firmly cementing themselves at the top of the pyramid here in the UPSL Premier Division. And Dalton have some new favorite sons, some new absolute heroes here at home.
They put in a miraculous shift. You see why Coach Kiko is the coach of the season for this spring season. He did a phenomenal job getting these boys across the line to lift the trophy, their third trophy in 2 seasons.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I do want to spare a quick thought for Atlanta United. They had a brilliant season, but unfortunately, you don't just need to be good enough to get over the line. You need to be the best. And if there's one thing Dalton United firmly said here today, it's that we are the best. There were so many allegations that draw versus Atlanta United was a fluke, but it's a trend now when it happens twice. And right there, ladies and gentlemen, that's the keeper. That's Mendez. He will be lifting the cup final trophy, the second piece of silverware. Okay, maybe not yet.
Not yet.
The second piece of silverware this season for the newly promoted Dalton United.
And UPSL's COO, Lewin Frazier, out there to give out the awards and the trophy for Dalton United. Now, Dalton United, fantastic job, but guess what? Job's not done, because now it's national title.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, maybe at some point they'll be handing it off. But this is why the COO is here in Atlanta, Georgia, or rather Dalton, Georgia, ladies and gentlemen, because Georgia soccer is where it's at. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, say it with them, they are the champions. There will be celebrations into the night. I mean, if you're and you have a good point there. It's going to be tonight, celebrate. Tomorrow, have a day off. On Monday, it's right back to the grind, because Atlanta United, don't get me wrong, they're a fantastic team, but you're not just going against the best in Georgia now. You're going up against the best in the nation. And I believe, Larry, you have some insights into what is up next on the wild roller coaster of a ride that is the Dalton season.
And for Dalton United, their next test They go on the road to Nashville to take on Beeman United. Beeman United able to beat, and here's a funny one, able to win 3-2 in overtime today against St. Louis City Academy. They are the Kentucky-Tennessee champions. They will take on Dalton United in Nashville, and that match will be amazing. Because don't forget, Beeman United, the only UPSL team to qualify for the U.S. Open Cup. They did get knocked out, but they were the only team that qualified for the U.S. Open Cup.
Yeah, so them being taken down definitely raises a lot of eyebrows for who was able to slay the beast. But speaking of slaying the beast, and ladies and gentlemen, I think I can speak for the entirety of the state of Georgia right now. I don't care whether you're a Rovers fan. I don't care if you're an Atlanta United fan. I don't care if you're a Strongest fan. But from this point forward until the end of the national championships, we are all Dalton United fans. What a story this team has had to tell this season. And what a way to clinch not only the regular season title, to clinch the Cup championship title, as well as the ticket to Nashville to begin their journey to the very top of UPSL soccer here in North America. How far they will go, that is an answer only they can tell. But along the way, we may be able to help tell those stories. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been our absolute pleasure to bring you coverage of this absolutely phenomenal conclusion to, I'd say, one of the greatest seasons of the UPSL Premier Division we have ever seen here in Georgia. And it is with the most heavy of hearts that I must now say, on behalf of myself, on behalf of Larry Weaver, on behalf of all of us here at ASMG, on behalf of everyone at the UPSL Georgia Premier Division, we wish you an absolutely fantastic night. And if you're here in Dalton, an absolutely phenomenal night of celebration. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe, ring that bell notification icon. Help us hit 1K subs so we can continue telling the story of teams like this in phenomenal cities like Dalton for the foreseeable future. But ladies and gentlemen, it is finally time to bid you adieu. It's been a phenomenal time tonight. We will see you next time here on ASMG.
This has been a presentation of the UPSL. Any use of this broadcast without the written consent of the Atlantic Soccer Media Group is prohibited.